What's up, everybody? Happy March Madness opener. DK Show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk studios this morning. Thanks for making us a part of your start. If you are already up and at it in the early hours here of this Thursday morning, whether you are listening on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, also available to stream up online at sportstalk1051.com. You've got your Alexa devices, Google devices, the app. Download it, take it on the go. Also, video stream up and rolling on YouTube here as well. Good morning, Joe, already on the YouTube stream. So what do we have on our game plan for us this morning? Brackets, predictions. Hopefully you all have them turned in. We want to hear who you have in your Final Four and your national championship, and who you have winning it all, and how far you have the Wisconsin Badgers going. So let us know already. Start to hit us up with your March Madness predictions. You can hit us up on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912, or you can join in on the Section 105 chats on the YouTube video stream as well. So let's hear those predictions. Hopefully you got your brackets turned in to our bracket challenge on our websites at sportstalk1051.com. Quite a few of you last I checked last night, or I should say yesterday afternoon, quite a few of you already having your brackets in. So, and the Badgers will be one of the first teams to tip off today as 12:50 taking on High Point. So we'll see if the Badgers can get things going here early on today and move on to the round of 32. But again, what kind of touched on it a little bit earlier in the week and such, but what do you think, what's the expectation that you have for Wisconsin this year? Because, I mean, it's been a hot minute since Wisconsin has made it to the second weekend of this tournament, i.e. the Sweet 16. So do you think that's got to be the bare minimum? I feel like there's probably maybe still some of the Greg Gard doubters out there that are still waiting in the weeds here, kind of quiet. And if Wisconsin doesn't get out of the first weekend, they'll probably get a little bit louder and such. But what do you think that expectation, that bare minimum should be for Wisconsin for the tournament? So we'll talk plenty of college hoops throughout the morning. I know we also have the state boys basketball tournament, and we've got a couple of immediate local teams that are going to be in action today. Division III, Division IV is all going to be in action today. St. Croix Central in Division III, they're going to be in action this afternoon. Eau Claire Regis is going to be the late game tonight. So best of luck to all of our all the teams that are down in Madison for the high school boys state basketball tournament. It is a day for basketball too, because you've got the Bucks back in action. If you still care about the Bucks at this point, but maybe the big story is the reports out there that the Bucks want to shut down Giannis for the remainder of the season. But Giannis is not having it, according to reports. So he is refusing to be shut down for the rest of the season. So do you think the Bucks should shut him down? Or do you kind of want to see Giannis maybe just in case it's the final time he's going to be wearing a Bucks uniform? We put that up in a post-Glass and Mirror 715 Speaks poll question on the Sports Talk Facebook page last night. And a resounding 91% of you saying yes to shut down Giannis for the rest of the season. So if you haven't voted in that poll, you can go to Facebook and vote in that poll one way or the other. Obviously, 9% of you say no, because I still want to see him play his final games with the Bucks, if it is in fact his final games with the Bucks. So, but we'll chat about that coming up here a little bit later on. We'll throw in some baseball talk as we are 1 week away from opening day. So 1 week from today, it was the Brewers opening day. So we are inching closer and closer and closer. Harrison yesterday, Kyle Harrison, the young fireballer that we're all excited about, he exited the game yesterday with a blister on his left index finger, which to pitchers, it is something. So, but Pat Murphy said that he should be good to go and such, saying he's had issues with this in the past. It's a new grip on his changeup, and that produced the blister. It's done a little bit in the past, so it's something we wanted to get under control early. I think he'll be back on track soon. Name another profession where a blister could probably keep you out for a little bit. That's a major league pitcher there. So we'll talk some baseball and some Brewers as we get set for opening day 1 week from today. The countdown is officially on. We'll even throw a little football chat in here as well. So got some crazy, maybe some rumors or rumblings or thoughts out there when it comes to the green and gold and such. We'll catch up with Jake Boakes, our DNR warden buddy from the state of Wisconsin. So that'll be coming up at 8:30 in our normal time. If you have any questions for Jake, please start to send those on over right now. All right, start to send those on over to us on that texting line so we can get those on over to Jake. It is a Takeover Thursday, so if you have a topic that you would like to throw out there as a possibility, as a thought of, or you want to throw out for the rest of our listeners to talk about, please do so. All right, this is your chance to join in, to act kind of like a producer. So if you got a topic that you think would be a good one to talk about, let's talk about it. All right, so send it on over to us. Also, it is a ASAP Used Auto Parts, Conrad's Auto Salvage. Enough is Enough Thursday. So let's hear your enough's enough. What's that sports narrative? What's that sports take or story that you've been hearing about maybe on the social media side of things where you're just like, dude, enough is enough with this. So got a fully loaded up game plan for us on this Thursday morning for this March Madness opener. I know we had the play-in games and such, and last night you had Miami of Ohio picking up a win. So the team that went undefeated all season until their conference tournament when they suffered their first loss. A lot of people still kind of had them pick or losing in this play-in game, but they win and they advanced. And Prairie View A&M Panthers also advancing with a win yesterday. So now we get to the good stuff, to the good games here. So it'll start off today with TCU versus Ohio State at 11:15. So you're talking about 5 hours from now. A lot of Big Ten teams in action today. Troy, Nebraska, going to go up at 11:40. Then obviously that Wisconsin High Point game at 12:50. Michigan State versus North Dakota State at 3:05. Michigan versus Howard at 6:10. Illinois versus Penn at 8:25. So quite a few Big Ten teams in action for today. So that's where we're going to lead things off here. We're going to take our first break and then open it up, talking some college hoops. Let's get your Final Four predictions, all right? Put them in pen. Make it official. What's your Final Four predictions? How far do you have the Badgers going in this tournament? What is the expectation, the minimum that you want to see from this Badgers team? What's your national championship picks and your overall national champion? All right. Now is the time to submit those. Start to hit us up with those picks, whether it is on the Section 105 chats on YouTube or that Shoe Doctors bullpen line with a quick message at 715-830-1912. Let's take a quick break, and we'll get things rocking and rolling here this morning. Coming up after these few words. Since we're leading off talking some college hoops this morning, don't forget we are going to be at the VFW tomorrow morning doing the program, VFW Post 305 on Star Avenue for our Hoops Skip Day. So if you are taking the day off and you're looking for somewhere to watch some hoops, you can hang out at the VFW Post 305. So we'll be there for the program. But the fun really starts around 11 o'clock, from 11 to 3, free beverages until we fill up our bar tab, and we'll have some prizes and giveaways and all that fun stuff too. So, again, if you're looking for somewhere to hang out to watch some hoops, head on over to the VFW Post 305. Grab yourself a free beverage while supplies last, or while the bar tab lasts, I should say, and hang out with us and watch a little basketball coming your way tomorrow. So get those picks on in. Get those picks on in, your Final Four picks and your national champion picks, and how far you've got Wisconsin going. We got intern Carter in studio as well this morning. Good morning, sir. Happy March Madness.
Yes.
Is it one of your favorite? Where would you rank this in terms of your favorite sports kind of events?
I think I'd go one.
One?
I do.
Yeah.
I love March Madness.
Yeah. All right. So you got you. Oh, I thought you had your. Do you have your bracket up? Do you have your picks? Who do? Ooh, I won't say it right now, but I'm just looking at it. Okay. All right. So, because you, since it is a Takeover Thursday here, I'll just kind of jump into it, because one of your topics this morning is about Wisconsin and such, and. You'd asked, how far do the Badgers need to go in the tournament for the season to be an overall success, which is kind of one of the questions that we are throwing out there. And I feel like maybe for some of the Badger fan base, they probably have maybe a little, for some that are not yet fully on the Greg Gard bandwagon, maybe they never have, or they still have questions about him, or don't think he's the right guy for the job and such. They probably have really high expectations. I would think they're probably bare minimum has to be a Sweet 16. And I get it, because it has been a hot minute since his second year as head coach that the Badgers have been in the Sweet 16. So, I mean, I understand it. I understand that, we want to get to the second weekend in a tournament for a while. But, I mean, it's so tricky because March Madness and brackets are so matchup-based and such. What do you think is the bare minimum?
Yeah, it's the hard part. I don't know. Like, I expect them to win today.
Yeah.
But Arkansas is a good team. They have one of the best players in the whole tournament in Acuff.
Yep.
Do I really expect them to win that game? I don't know.
I think they got the talent to do so. Yeah. I mean, I look at it. If you have beaten multiple top 10, top 15 teams this year, and they were all on the road, like all of them except for one was on the road too. I don't think this is a team that's going to be intimidated by anybody in this tournament, and and regardless of where they play and such. So, but they are such a wild card team, because if that 3-point shot is not working, it's going to be a tough day. But what I think does help Wisconsin a little bit is how they fit. They beat Purdue without Nolan Winter. They beat Illinois in the tournament without Nolan Winter. They kept it close against Michigan. They had a chance without Nolan Winter. And I just wonder, is that a nice little confidence booster for this ball club, especially for the other guys that had to fill in for Nolan Winter? I mean, Boyd and Blackwell, we know they're one of the best backcourt duos in the entire country. But, you add in, Winter and Janicki too. I wonder how that finish to the season might have been a nice little confidence boost for this team.
Even experience for next year. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Sweet 16, but I'm not gonna. If they don't, I'm not gonna be one of those that says fire Greg Gard because they don't get it. I think that should be an expectation. I think it's a realistic expectation. And the thing is like, I think they can present a challenge to Arizona if they get there. And then I look towards that bottom half of that bracket. Let's say they end up facing Purdue. They're not going to be intimidated by Purdue. So I think if they get past an Arizona team, I'm thinking, confidence here. I wouldn't be surprised if they could go on a little bit of a run here.
The hard part is they can beat anybody and they can lose to anybody.
Yes. Yep.
So it's trying to figure out them, but it
Yeah.
should be fun.
Yeah. So you want to? So I'm looking at your bracket right now. Looks a little chalkish there, young man. Going with some high seeds and oh, you got Miami though. You got Miami making a little bit of a run there too. So, what do you have like a process? You know, I know some people kind of like, you know, they have their certain ways of making brackets. Do you get into that at all, or do you just like, no, it's all about based off feel and such?
Yeah, I watch and pay attention to a lot of college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got my pulse on things. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like Purdue at all. At
Yep.
all. Like,
Yep.
I don't think they're going to go far. I just don't. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm losing in the second round. I like Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona's been good all year. For Houston, it's a revenge game against Florida,
Yep.
and it's in Houston.
Yep.
So it's kind of by feel. Like, obviously, Alabama lost their star.
Right.
Or else they'd maybe go farther.
Right.
I think for me, it's a lot of times hard to pick Big Ten teams because I'm like, well, the Badgers beat them.
Right.
So who else can beat them?
Right.
Like Illinois. I've seen brackets that have Illinois in the Final Four. And that's mind-blowing to me because they just lost to the Badgers without Nolan Winter.
Mm-hmm.
But the Badgers are that good.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, like Michigan. I don't know how far to pick them. They can lose to Purdue by a lot, or they can blow out good teams.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. It's going to be a fun year.
Yeah. Do you want to say who your Final Four is right now since you have it up there?
I have Duke versus Houston, and then Arizona versus Iowa State, and then Arizona winning it all.
Arizona winning all over Duke
Yeah.
in the championship. So, well, I might as well say mine because I am one of those that have Illinois in the Final Four.
Okay.
So
Yep.
I do. I'll just kind of go through it. Let me bring it up here quick. But, mine, I don't try. I know some people say, I got to pick that 5-12 upset. I've kind of gotten over that now.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know if it's necessarily a thing. Odds are there's probably going to be a 12-5 upset or a 14-3 upset or a 4-13, whatever the case. There's probably going to be one of those, right? That odds are. It's so hard to pick which one it's going to be. But my Final Four, I've got UConn coming out of that region against Duke. Okay. I love that region just from a story standpoint.
Yeah.
Because you've got Duke in there, but then you have UConn with Hurley. You've got Michigan State with Tom Izzo. You've got Bill Self in Kansas. You've got Rick Pitino in St. John's. I really wanted to pick St. John's. I like Rick Pitino as a coach, and they are a scary team too because I feel like at times when they get to the tournament, they kind of lay an egg, kind of like last year and such. I really wanted to because I wanted a St. John's and UConn rematch to go to the Final Four because I think that would be epic. Between those two coaches, but I went with UConn to get out of that region, and then in the I'm just going to call it the Florida region, South region. I'm going with a little bit. This was my upset kind of one. So I think some people were kind of sleeping on Nebraska a little bit.
Okay.
I have Nebraska beating Florida.
Wow.
And I have it set up for Nebraska versus Illinois.
Big Ten.
Yeah. So, and then I've got Illinois going to the Final Four to face UConn. I couldn't do all 1 seeds or 1 or 2 seeds. I had to put somebody else in there because I looked at the West region with Arizona. I've got Arizona advancing to the Final Four in that one. The one team I will say that besides Wisconsin in that region that confuses me is BYU. Because BYU came into this year with super high expectations. They've got a incredibly talented roster, like high draft picks. And I just don't know, are they a team that just wanted to get through that regular season and they're going to turn it on a la a San Antonio Spurs back in the day sort of thing? And then, they get to the tournament and they go on this run because they're way too talented for how they finished that season or how they went through that regular season. That to me is a scary team. And the fact that Gonzaga is losing one of their best players in this tournament, I got BYU going to the Sweet 16 for a little bit of a surprise. Just they're too talented, but they're kind of like Wisconsin. They may blow it against Texas.
Yeah.
Or so I went with a little surprise in BYU, but Arizona comes through that region. And I think the Midwest, if there was one for me at least that of the top seeds that have maybe a little bit of an easier path, I'd picked Michigan for that one because, you look at it, Iowa State, I know a lot of people are picking them. I'm a little bit Alabama, as you mentioned. They got some issues going on off the court right now. Virginia, I think I don't know if I'm buying Virginia right now at this point. But I do have them going up against Iowa State and then Michigan versus Iowa State to get into the Final Four. I've got Michigan. So my Final Four are UConn, Illinois, Arizona, Michigan, Arizona, UConn, Arizona winning it. That's my picks. So had to do a little bit of upsets in there.
Yeah.
A little bit. But I don't know if I have. I don't have any double digits going to the Sweet 16, which odds are that's probably going to happen. And I know you do. I think you do a little
I have
bit.
Akron and then Miami.
You go
Ohio.
with the Miami, Ohio routes. All right. Look at that.
I don't like Tennessee. I've watched them play a couple times. They don't move the ball well. They struggle with defense.
Mm-hmm.
And Miami, Ohio's just playing for fun right now. I mean, they've heard the noise.
Yeah.
And they like it. So
yeah. For what it's worth, my 8-year-old did a bracket. He's got 3 Big Ten teams in the champion or in the Final Four. He's got Duke winning it all.
Oh.
Duke versus Nebraska, Purdue versus Michigan, Duke versus Michigan, and then Duke winning it all. So, yeah, he did originally have Wisconsin, but then he switched it. So, and went with Purdue. So. At least he's not C-Bomb. C-Bomb apparently has Wisconsin losing in the championship. So I hope you're wrong, C-Bomb, because I hope they win the championship.
Yeah.
How about that? So what about the rest of you? Send us your brackets. When it comes to this time of year too, when it's March Madness and such, I know a lot of people have some traditions, and is there anything that you kind of do every year when it comes to March Madness? Maybe it's not for today's games or tomorrow's games, but maybe it's Saturday and Sunday or the weekend and such. What are some of the traditions maybe that you do, or maybe when it comes to filling out your bracket too? What do you got? All right, let us know. Share it with the rest of the class here. Okay, hit us up with those messages and such. We got to take a quick break, but plenty more hoops talk coming up after these quick words. Hey, maybe you're looking for some snacks if you're going to be hanging out at home today and watching some hoops and nets. Load up by visiting our good friends at Hy-Vee in Eau Claire, because when it comes to fresh, convenient, and delicious, they've got you covered, from fresh produce and premium meats to bakery favorites and, heck, even ready-to-go meals, too. If you don't want to put a lot of effort in it, you just want to grab maybe some wings or some other stuff over there, check out the front of the store and their ready-to-go meal options. Everything you need is under one roof. And it's a store that feels like your neighborhood market, just a bit bigger. Plus, they've got daily and weekly deals and seasonal specials. There's always something new to discover. So make sure you are following the Hy-Vee Facebook page for some of their awesome deals and awesome specials. Hy-Vee in Eau Claire, where there is a helpful smile in every aisle. If you had to pick a team in this tournament it doesn't have to be on your bracket that you picked it, but if you had to pick a team in this bracket that maybe goes a little bit on that surprise run, is there a team that kind of jumps out to you? I might go BYU on this thing.
Yeah, for me, I think it's Miami.
Yeah?
I picked them to my Elite Eight, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I just like their team this year. Other than that, I have Akron in my Elite Eight, actually. Virginia. I don't know. Like Miami, Ohio could win.
Yeah.
A lot of these 11-6s, coin flips in the first round, could get far in the second round. Actually, for me, it's Louisville. So here's why. I'm seeing a lot of this as an upset pick. A lot of people pick in South Florida. Louisville is top 20 in defensive efficiency and top 20 in offensive efficiency. They've had one of the hardest schedules in college basketball. Now, they're without their best player, so that's a problem. But if they can get through this round, I really like them the whole tournament. I don't know if he'll come back, but if they get him back, I could see them going Final Four.
All right. I like it. I thought maybe I was alone on my BYU pick, but I was snooping on some of our brackets, people who put brackets in for our challenge here. And our buddy Brandon Berg, first of all, you guys can boo him tomorrow when we're at VFW, because he does not have Wisconsin winning today. I don't know if he wants me saying that, but it's public, so we could all look at it. And he's got BYU in the Final Four. So that's his little bit of an upset. Surveyor, since I've got yours up here too, Surveyor has UConn, Illinois, and Arizona versus Michigan. So he copied my Final Four. But he's got Arizona over Illinois in the national championship. As Steve Baum said earlier, my bracket should tell you I don't know anything about basketball without telling you I don't know anything about basketball. I wonder, let's see if I can find Steve Baum's here on our bracket challenge. Let's see what good old Steve Baum picked here. So he's got, okay, it's not bad. You played homerism with this, because he's got UConn, Houston, Michigan, Wisconsin, the Final Four, and UConn over Wisconsin. So, I mean, it's not that you don't know anything. You just played a little bit of a homer pick. It looks like you went chalk all across the board other than that. So, yeah, why not? I mean, that's how I still remember doing my first bracket. I was in 8th grade, and I did the same thing. I'm like, I'm just going to pick Wisconsin to go to the championship, to the Final Four and championship. That was the year 2000 when they went to the Final Four as an 8th seed. So wow. I thought I was the smartest person in the world because I actually picked that. But then they lost to Michigan State and such. But, yeah, I had 3 of the 4 Final Four teams that year.
Wow.
But it was all based off guessing, because I was still an NBA kid at that point. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do a bracket. And, yeah, picked Wisconsin to go all the way, and somehow they went to the Final Four as an 8th seed in Dick Bennett that year. So, but I remember as a kid, and I would like to know if we have any teachers listening right now. I know we do, but I don't know if they're going to be willing to do this. But I remember this time of year when we were in like middle school and high school, these games would be on TV right now. They would be on TV. There were certain teachers that maybe had it on more often than not. But is that still like a big thing, like in school? And even like we would have the state basketball tournament games on and such. But I remember I was in 6th grade would that have been I remember 6th grade, Mrs. Pice's class. It was at the end of the day, and she turned the TV on, and we watched the end of a game. And I think, was it the Valpo upset at the buzzer? It was like a buzzer beating shot or something like that. But I remember those games and such too. I think, was it Valpo? Oh, I'm trying to go through my years and such, but that would have been 90. I think 98. I'll have to double check. I have to look at a bracket. So way before you were born.
Yeah.
Way before you were born, which apparently there's a social media trend right now about, Dad, tell me what you were like in the 90s. I'm like, oh my God, I'm at that age now. So holy moly. So, but continue to send us your Final Fours, your national champions and such. I've got a couple more here. We got another Brandon with his Final Four. He's got Michigan State, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, all Big Ten Final Four.
Wow.
Michigan over Michigan State for the champ. Can you even
Wouldn't
imagine?
that be crazy? Yeah.
Holy.
Wow.
Duke and North Carolina was epic for a Final Four matchup to go to the national championship, but having Michigan State and Michigan for a championship, that would be something. That would be really something here. We've got Mike with his Final Fours. Michigan State, Houston, Arizona, Iowa State, Arizona over Houston. So, and Mike also has Wisconsin in the Sweet 16, losing to Arizona. So, but all right, keep those coming. This is good. We've got again, the website is, I'll say it again, and I don't know if we can, it might be too late now, but sportstalk1051.com, fan cave tab, scroll all the way down to the bottom. That's where you can find it. So, but I don't know if it's still available this morning because we got games going on here today. So, all right, let's take a quick break, and we'll wrap up the first quarter, first hour already here this morning. Continue to send us your picks. Your Final Fours. How far do you got Wisconsin going? How far do you think they need to go in this tournament? Is there a bare minimum? They have to get to the Sweet 16 this year. Or they got to do this. Or they just got to beat High Point. Then you're fine. I don't know. What's your expectation? All right. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back to wrap up the first quarter after these quick words. When it comes to quality meats, you don't guess. You go right to the experts at Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire. You're not just buying meat, but you're buying experience. Hand-cut steaks, fresh ground beef, house-made brats and sausages, thick-cut chops done exactly the way you like them. This is your neighborhood butcher shop where quality comes first and service still matters. Planning a cookout or stocking up for the week or looking for that perfect steak for dinner tonight, stop on in to Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire and taste the difference that a real butcher makes. And right now, because we got Easter coming up here, so if you're thinking about what to do for maybe your Easter dinner and meal, well, Mike's right now, they're taking your orders for their Easter ham. They're offering their double-smoked, fully cooked hams this year for $3.69 a pound. So give them a call today to reserve yours at 715, when they open this morning, 715-552-3842. All right. So, and if you buy 6 packs of brats, if you buy 6 packs of brats, you can get your ham for $3.29 a pound. All right, 2 birds, 1 stone. Doesn't take a math genius to figure that out. That's a decent deal. So, Eli says Arkansas, Wisconsin will be the game of the tournament. Well, what's your Final Four, Eli? Gotta send over your Final Four. So, send that on over here as well. So. Keep those coming. Plenty of college hoops talk throughout the morning. Anybody got anything planned for today for the opener? Any traditional stuff in that? Send it on over to us so we can share it with the rest of the class. So coming up later on this morning, I might as well. I'm getting ready to embarrass myself later on, intern. We're kicking off a video series where I'm going to be trying different sports challenges and events. I'm getting in the cage, and I'm going to attempt to hit a Major League fastball. Boy. No batting gloves, probably a wooden bat. It's going to be painful. So, yeah. Going to make it a little bit of a contest. Don't know exactly the amount of pitch. I need a little bit of a warm-up. I'm hoping they'll start off like 40 miles and then work their way up or something. My goal is I want to stand in the box against something in the high heat in the 90s. And if we get to that, if there's 10 pitches, how many do I make contact on?
If he's throwing 90s?
It'll be a machine. So,
ooh, machine is harder. I can tell you from personal experience, machine is harder. I think you got 3.
Oh, that's batting 300 just for contact.
I think you got 3.
So we're counting fall tips and all that stuff. If we get to the point where I got laid out a bunt just to get 1, I'll probably do that. So, but yeah, I'm going to get in the cage and we'll see how it goes. So it's going to be, I don't know. They say hitting a Major League fastball is the hardest thing to do in sports. So we'll see. I want to go as fast as we can go in this thing. And I want to stay in the box and see that and kind of get that feel of 90 high heat. So I'm going to do some other things here too, but we're going to do it. So it's going to be up probably in a couple days after we record the video and such. So Eli's Final Four is Duke, Vanderbilt, Gonzaga, and Iowa State. So that's a different Final Four. I don't think I've seen that one before. So that's a different one for sure. But all right, keep those coming in. All right, send them on over. We'll get back to some more hoops talk here in a little bit. C-Bomb in our Takeover Thursday did have a topic we might as well hit up before we finish up the first quarter. Said he was talking with a Jets fan at the gym this morning who is thrilled with their offseason. I have been thrilled with the Packers offseason. Whose fan bases do you think are most happy with their offseason, and whose fan bases should be the most disappointed in their team's offseason? I'd be curious to know how Dolphins fans feel. Like, do they get it? Like, okay, we just got to reset it? Or are they like, man, this is going to be bad. You know, we sign a quarterback and then we get rid of everybody. I mean, I'd be curious to hear from a Dolphins fan's perspective how they kind of view this. Because that one's the kind of an easy one in terms of like they're just literally letting everybody go at this point and amassing a huge dead cap. Or do they get it like, we know this is going to be a process to kind of rebuild everything?
Yeah, I think I'd probably say the Cowboys. I mean, they traded a 4th for Gary, so that kind of tells you something about where they're at. But just the inability for them to do nothing year after year, I think their fans aren't very happy. But the Dolphins thing, it's like, why sign a quarterback if you're going to tank? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And if you're going to tank, trade A-Chain. Like, there's no use keeping him. But, yeah, I don't know for the most happy. It's a good question.
Yeah. For me, part of me almost wants to. I'm not going to, but it did cross my mind. Part of me almost wants to pick the Raiders just because they made all those free signings and then they get Max Crosby again. So it's like now their defense, they had a bunch on defense and such, and they have the number 1 overall pick. So, I mean, they were originally going to have 3 first-round picks here too, but I'm not going to pick them, but they did cross the back of my mind a little bit. So, but I know a lot of people have the Raiders as losers in that, but I'm like, they got a lot of defense.
Yeah, I do. I think they're going to be good next year if they can get a good quarterback.
Yeah, I think the Mendoza one. I'm still up in the air on Mendoza. I think don't rush it with him.
Yeah,
I think you go if they get like a Kirk Cousins to be that bridge quarterback or something. Then I know they brought in who do they got right? They didn't know Minshew went to the Cardinals. That's right. Yeah, Gardner.
They haven't signed anybody yet.
No. Other than that, I mean, I am kind of curious. Is that Jets fan just like? Is he happy because they're accumulating picks and kind of resetting everything? Because, I mean, Geno Smith, I'm not a Geno Smith type of player either, or type of fan either. So I'm C-Bomb, why was he excited or happy with his offseason so far? So, I mean, I'm happy with what I think it's ridiculous that some people are now saying, well, Green Bay's moves, they got older, so that's why they're not great. I'm like, so they were getting criticized for the last 2 years for being the youngest team. They added 2 players that are like going to be 30 or 33, and that's a downgrade for them. I didn't get that. I do like what the Steelers have done. I know the big question is who's the quarterback, but I mean you got it up right there actually. Pittman Jr. and then Rico, and I saw a graphic the other day about some of their offensive weapons. If you're Aaron Rodgers, why wouldn't that intrigue you to come back for one more year?
Yeah.
You DK and Pittman, and then you got a 2-headed running back duo that I think is pretty darn solid. So I kind of like what Pittsburgh's done too.
Yeah, for sure.
I think maybe if you're the Jaguars, you're not happy because you haven't done anything. And your GM, I mean, you lost Travis Etienne, Devin Lloyd, and your GM has already come out and said a week or so ago that you're really not going to be making any moves because you want those picks. You want comp picks for next year, and you don't want it to affect that. So, I mean, this was a Jaguars team that way exceeded expectations last year. You'd probably think, okay, can we, maybe cash in on this? But your GM's like, nope, we're good. We're not going to be doing anything like that in the offseason. So maybe you're a little bit disappointed in that aspect.
I think, too, the Patriots messed everything up. I mean, paying Dobbs $20 million aside, I just don't like the additions they added, especially because they needed a number 1. They cut Diggs, and then they signed Dobbs, who has never been a number 1, and he's had the opportunity. So I really don't think they were in a Super Bowl. They had to make a couple moves to be able to win the Super Bowl, and they really made no moves. Mm-hmm. I mean, Dobbs is practically Stephon Diggs, just not as vocal. Mm-hmm. They got Byard. He's an all right safety. He's really old. And their linebacker, Tremont Jones, he's old as well. Like, I really don't think they made any moves to bolster their roster. And that's kind of what they needed if they wanted to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. I'll say one team that I kind of like what they did too. I'm going to go Titans. They had a boatload of cash. They go out there and they get perhaps the best, one of the better interior defensive linemen available with Franklin Myers. They make the trade for Johnson from the Jets, and they're going to have a high pick in this thing here too. I kind of like some of the moves that they made to help bolster that roster. a little bit. So I kind of like not a ton of splashy moves, but I think again that's another former Packer front office person helping lead that charge over there too. So I kind of like some of the moves that they did with that Titans team. So
and even if it's one, the Broncos adding Jalen Waddle is a big move.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I would love it as a Broncos fan.
Yeah. I think Kansas City getting Kenneth Walker was big for them, especially with we don't know when Patrick Mahomes is going to be back. But the one thing with the Chiefs, they got rid of, like, who's going to play corner for them now, too?
Yeah.
That's the other part is like, oh, boy, here we go. So I don't know if I would have that clear-cut, like, team would be pumped, ecstatic, excited sort of thing. I don't know. Maybe if you're the Lions, are you a little bit down because they didn't do a lot in terms of offensive line? Maybe I don't know, but
because they had what's his name retire to one of their best offensive linemen,
and then Taylor Decker's out of there too. But I saw, was it like the Bears and the Vikings have the least amount of cap space right now?
Yeah, the
to
Bears
go and play with. So there's not a lot that they can do. But I mean, they did bring in Devin Bush and such too. So we'll see how that. But they lose Kevin and obviously traded DJ Moore to the Buffalo Bills. So all right, good question. Shot clock's going to cut us off here. So coming up next hour, we'll talk a little baseball. I do want to talk some more football too, more Green Bay related. So we'll hit that up coming up in the next hour. First quarter is in the books. We'll be right back after these news updates. All right, second hour kicking off right now on this Thursday morning, the Thursday of March Madness. Thanks for hanging out with us and making us a part of your start on this Thursday morning. Continue to send us your brackets, your Final Four picks, your national championship picks, and how far you got Wisconsin going in this thing. All right, so send those on over, 715-830-1912, or hit us up on the Section 105 chat on YouTube. I want to talk a little bit more football here, too, because something I think I saw a little bit of it, but maybe not a lot of people are too aware of it, and I don't know if this is going to be something that would interest people this weekend with March Madness going on. It's probably not the greatest time. Did you hear about this Fanatics Flag Football Classic?
Yeah.
So they did the draft yesterday and such.
Okay.
But it's 3 teams, like Tom Brady's involved in this thing. So there's 3 teams. Logan Paul's in it too, I think. With it. But yeah, there's like 3 teams in this thing. And team founders, the captains are Tom Brady and Jalen Hurts. But you've got Ashton Genty, Alvin Kamara, Rob Gronkowski, weird on Tom Brady's team, Antoine Winfield Jr., Devontae Smith, Stephon Diggs, Von Miller, DeMar Hamlin, Patrick Peterson, Terrence Crawford. So Team Wildcats, captains are Jaden Daniels and Joe Burrow, Logan Paul, because why not, Saquon Barkley, Kyle Juszczyk, Odell Beckham Jr., Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Derwin James Jr., Luke Kuechly, Jalen Ramsey. Is it iShow Speed? I don't know who that is.
I think it's iShow Speed.
iShow Speed. So now there's Team USA. I think that's because the actual legit Team USA flag football team. Now, not for the Olympic one, but there is like a Team USA one over there. So you've got Velton Brown Jr., Isaiah Calhoun, Nico Caceres, Mike Daniels, Laval Davis, Tyler Davis, Jedi High, Jamie Kennedy, Laderick Smith, and Sean Thread Jr. So I'm kind of curious. I'm surprised it's not maybe I'm just missing it a whole lot, but I'm a little surprised because it's this Saturday. It's Saturday at 3 o'clock during during obviously March Madness and such. So I'm kind of curious to see how it plays out, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a 5-on-5 flag football tournament, 3 teams involved, so I might tune in a little bit. You know, it's one of those you might have to have 2 TVs on for hoops and maybe a little bit of flag football action. I don't know. I'm curious to see how it plays out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see Tom Brady trying to throw football again.
He's in shape all the time, though, man.
I still think he could play. I don't know how he does it, but I still think he could play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that Team USA is a USA football men's national team. So it's that group on there, which, you know, they're probably saying, hey, the Olympics and such, we're already a Team USA, on there. So, and this is, I think, their chance for a lot of those guys to say, hey, we should be the team that represents the USA in the Olympics. Maybe there'll be a couple guys, but I don't know how that's going to work out because there's too many, I think, NFL people and people like Rob Gronkowski that I think would play in the Olympics if they had a chance to. So.
Yeah, so here's the problem. What if USA just loses? Like first round exit. I don't
that would, or this one or
this?
Oh, this? Then I think they've got no.
This is your time to show, and if you can't win this, they're not taking you to the Olympics.
Yeah, unless there's maybe 1 or 2 players that come off that team. But I mean, and I think the other part, the NFL's got to figure this out, and teams are going to have to sign off on, their pro players and such kind of. Because it is flag football. Obviously, the NBA allows their players to go in the Olympics and such. But, we just saw World Baseball Classic, which was awesome. The whole tournament was awesome. But then you had restrictions on players from their teams, like into the final. It was like I was watching it, and, they got the managers got the instructions from their ball clubs like, well, this pitcher's only allowed to pitch in a safe situation. This pitcher's not available. You can't throw this guy out there. You can't play this guy. So it's like when we get to the Olympics, how much say are these NFL teams going to have on their players and such too?
Would you want to see somebody like Tom Brady be quarterback for the U.S. Olympic team?
No. Okay. I think he actually has a shot to be that guy, and I think he's pushing for it.
I do too.
Now, if I were to draft the ultimate Olympic team, I'd want somebody like I'd need to know the rules first, but I'd almost want a Jaden Daniels type that if you're going to rush the guy, he's going to just outrun you.
Lamar, yeah.
I want somebody that maybe kind of can move around in the pocket.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, somebody like that. But honestly, I think it's going to be Brady.
I do too.
I think there's going to be a big chunk of retired or recently retired NFL people like Gronk, or maybe at that time, and Alvin Kamara might be retired at that point too. I think it's going to be some of those players. I just do. So,
they should win it anyway.
If Team USA does not win flag football in the Olympics, we got a huge problem.
Yeah,
a huge problem. And it's just no, that cannot happen. I not to be naive or anything like that, but what other country can come in and beat Team USA in football? That is our sport. It's not like baseball where it is worldwide or soccer is worldwide. Football is our sport. There should be no other country that could come in and beat us.
Well, and baseball is like any given day because of the nature of the game.
Yeah.
Football, we should win.
Yes. At 100%. So, I'm kind of curious to see how it plays out. We'll see. But with football, this is kind of my ASAP used auto parts, Conrad's Auto Salvage. Enough is enough. Where is this? Did this start with a social media thing about trading Jaden Reed? Because I've seen more people talk about this, and I know you mentioned it. Did this just pop up out of somewhere? Because I try to stay off Twitter a lot now because it's a dark place and all that. But did this is this a social media thing, or people just speculating like, okay, they've got Watson and Golden and those guys, and Tucker Kraft's coming back, and Jaden Reed's going to be up for an extension. Should they just trade him while they get something? Is that what it is pretty much coming down to? Do you know? That
was going to be my question today, because that's what I've heard too. Like, he's almost expendable, and I don't see him that way at all.
No.
And it's interesting that people do, but that's what I'm hearing. Like why we have enough receivers. We just lost Dobbs. That means we do not have enough receivers. So please don't trade him. But
there's no problem. Enough is enough with this. Like, this. I think people have this mindset. Okay, we've got enough, so we can trade him and get something in return. Enough is enough with that mindset. Do we need to remember what happened last year with all the injuries? It's okay to have depth, right? I get it. Then he might walk, and you don't get anything in return right away for a trade piece. Okay, I get that. But at the same time, if he can help out my team this year, if you have a window, right? We're not the Dolphins where we're trying just to rebuild and accumulate some picks. I want as many talented players as possible on this thing. And Jaden Reed is one of the more talented weapons on the offensive side. So I hope it's not because they signed Sky Moore, so they got somebody. Stop it.
No.
Enough is enough with, it was like the Malik Willis thing after the first year. They're like, hey, trade Malik Willis for a high pick. No, you don't. What happens if Love missed time like he did this year? It's fine to have good depth. Yeah, you may not get a decent draft pick in return for it, but for crying out loud, I don't want to operate like that all the time. Well, I want good people.
What are they going to get for him? Like, yeah, you could get Josh Sweat, but Josh Sweat is not the guy you want on this team. He's Rashawn Gary 2.0. We do not want him on this roster. And Jaden Reed can add so much value to our team. And, let's say he gets hurt again, which nobody wants.
Right.
But then maybe you get him for a Christian Watson type deal. 2 years, really cheap, go prove it. Yeah, I don't see any point in trading Jaden Reed. He's going to be your week 1 starter.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he is incredibly valuable to this offense, because I still call him the Swiss Army knife of this. You can use him in different ways and such. And, if people want to fault him for his injury last year, he made a ridiculous catch on the sideline and broke his collarbone landing on it by trying, making that a play. I can't fault the player for that.
Well, and he was playing through a broken foot.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, you can't. I'm not, and there's going to be people that do it, and that just mind boggles me. You can't blame the player for having an injury when the dude's making a play.
Yeah,
and it was a sweet play.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was, and it's just we got to stop this just because. Oh, we have Christian Watson and Matthew Golden and Tucker Kraft. We could try. Stop it.
Yeah,
just stop. And that's not even a guarantee that pick is going to work out when you draft. I mean, I want to win now. And by winning now is keeping your best players if you have them, for crying out loud. So, yeah, I've seen more and more of that. And then I'm like, where is this coming from?
I think part of the thought is because we have Savion Williams. But you saw last year his inability to do what Jaden Reed did. I mean, that's why we struggled without Jaden Reed to move the ball to score. And so, I mean, maybe Savion will get there, but he needs more time.
Yes. Yeah. And, I mean, Savion's a bigger receiver, too. So, I mean, he's not going to be as shifty as Jaden Reed and such. I just, that's my enough is enough. Could we stop? Could we just stop with, like, let's trade Jaden Reed to get a third-round pick or something like that? Or I saw one trading him to Miami for their running back. Are we getting rid of Josh Jacobs while we're at it, too? I mean, I get it. We want 2 running backs, but, I mean, Josh Jacobs is probably going to be on the field more times than not. So I don't know if we quite need a running back at that level to be, a back. I can't.
In my opinion, I don't think Achane, the Dolphins running back, works in our offense because we're a ground and pound team. I mean, you saw how much we ran it last year. I really think Jacobs is going to have a bounce back year. He struggled with injuries last year. And
the offensive line
a bad
stunk.
offensive line. And so everything's setting up for a good year again. And the Packers are good with cutting running backs when they should be cut. You saw it with Aaron Jones. They'll get rid of Jacobs when they think it's necessary. What did he do 2 years ago? He dominated.
Right.
He'll get back. He may not get back to that, but he'll be good again.
Yeah. Yeah. And at that point, too, it's like, okay, if you're going to get, and I'm not ready to say Marshawn Lloyd, you could count on him, but if you want another running back, I'd rather maybe find somebody in a draft.
Yeah.
A little bit younger, a little bit less wear and tear on there just to provide a little bit more depth at that spot. So, but I don't know if it's internet GMs out there or what, but it does not make sense to me because, okay, you trade him and you go in with Watson and Golden and Dontavian Wicks and Bo Melton. You're one injury away from saying, oh, crap,
He's actually got to play.
Right, yeah. Or like you mentioned, Savion. I hope Savion Williams turns into a really good player. I don't want to react after just 1 year from a rookie, but it's like, I'd rather have the depth.
Yeah.
Give me the depth. So, yikes. All right. On that note, let's take a quick break. Ed Seabaum said if anybody is saying we should get rid of Reed, block them and never hear from them again. So, all right, let's take a quick break. I want to talk some more hoops, but Bucks-wise, have we seen the last of Giannis in a Bucks uniform? Give you the latest rumblings and rumors surrounding the Greek Freak coming up after these quick words. Looking for reliable auto service right here in the Chippewa Valley? Hey, you've got a couple options, and they're both AJM Automotive with 2 convenient locations right here in Eau Claire. AJM Automotive makes it easy to get the care that your vehicle deserves. Whether it's routine maintenance, some brake work, engine repairs, maybe you need a new set of tires, they got you covered. Friendly experts, honest advice, quality service that gets you back on the road safely. Check out their website at ajmautomotiveservices.com and check out their Facebook page as well. And don't forget their new location open on Saturdays to help better serve you. And again, there's a good reminder with that latest snow dumping that we got. Maybe if you're planning for next year and you're like, I'm done doing this, I want somebody to plow out my driveway and such. Remember AJM Automotive for next year. And may not think about it now, but maybe with the warmer temperatures, you're thinking about lawn mowing season. They do work on small engines as well. I've had my lawnmower fixed by them too, and do a fantastic job with that. So they got you covered in multiple different ways. Let's talk some hoops, but a little bit of Bucks note. Bucks are back in action tonight as they take on the Utah Jazz. But we're not going to have Giannis in the game as he's out with a knee injury. But there is a report, multiple reports out there, not just ESPN. Eric Name from The Athletics, similar report out there too, that the Bucks essentially want to shut down Giannis for the rest of the season. And Giannis, to no surprise, is like, no, I'm not going to be shut down for the rest of the season. So now it's, I guess, kind of a wait and see sort of thing if this is actually going to happen in that. I mean, I don't think anybody's surprised that Giannis wants to play if he's able to play, right? I don't think anybody out there is surprised by that. And I don't think anybody is surprised that Bucks probably just want to say, okay, enough's enough with this too. And, you know, all the injuries that Giannis has had, they're not going to the playoffs. I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but that's out of the cards now. So they're going to be in the lottery for a draft pick and such. But does this mean that we have seen the last of Giannis in a Bucks uniform potentially? We did put up a poll question, 715 Speaks poll question brought to you by Post Glassamere on Facebook. I actually was a little surprised at how the results are going so far because the way I phrased it, I said, you know, should the Bucks shut down Giannis for the rest of the season? 2 picks, yes or no, because you want to see him play his final games in a Bucks uniform. 87% now have said, yes, shut him down for the rest of the season. So selfishly, I'd like to see him play just so I know in the back of my mind, like, okay, this might be the last game, you know, kind of with that mindset. But I understand it from a Bucks perspective. I hope this doesn't get messy. That's my one thing. I don't want it to get messy between the Bucks and Giannis to where, because let's be real. I think the majority of us fans would love to see Giannis still play for the Milwaukee Bucks and play for the Bucks throughout his whole career. And I don't want this to be kind of the reason why Giannis says, nope, I don't want to stay anymore because you wouldn't let me play in meaningful or meaningless games at the end of the season. Yeah. How would you handle this?
I see for the Bucks, I think I personally would let him play. Because like you said, I do think he's coming to the end of his tenure with the Bucks. But it's also like we're not winning games with him. Mm-hmm. You are risking injury, which hurts if you're trying to trade him. But if he gets injured, he's staying in Milwaukee likely. Mm-hmm. So I would let him play. Again, we're tanking. I mean, we lost to the Hawks by 30 with him, and then lost to the Cavs by 7 without him.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, we're not any better, wins-wise, it feels like, with him in the lineup.
We're almost better without him.
Right.
So I don't think it hurts to play him. I personally, like you said, I want to see him play his last game with the Bucks, and I don't see any point to shut him down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I look at, the thing is, too, and Giannis has to realize this year, this year was really, really bad. But I would hope that he realizes, too, like, hey, I missed a lot of time due to injury. You know, how different is this team? How different is this group or the results if he plays the majority of the season? Is it much different? I don't know. I mean, like you said, though, when he does play, the team still loses a lot of games. But with him going in and out of the lineup so much, does that affect the chemistry? Does that affect the flow? Does that affect their ability to play cohesive basketball? It's a what if that we don't really know the truthful answer to. But I hope like a lot of these athletes realize that, okay, if I'm missing a lot of time or if I'm hurt a lot, it's affecting my team. And I hope that just crosses Giannis's mind a little bit too. Like, how different would they be if he was healthy the whole season?
Yeah. I think the Bucks are in a tough spot because they've tried everything to put a competitive team around them. I mean, they got Dame 2 years ago. That didn't work. I mean, they cut Dame to get Turner. That didn't work. So I think for the Bucks, they're trying to figure out how to stay competitive while keeping a superstar happy, and that's never easy. I think Giannis right now is struggling to share the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He's a ball-dominant player, which isn't bad. We won a championship with it. But with the team we have, I mean, I was watching a little bit of the Cavs game the other night. The ball movement we have without him on the court is really good. They're passing the ball all over.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, we should be better with Giannis, but it's almost interesting that we're not.
Yeah.
And you saw it didn't work because both Giannis and Dame are ball-dominant players.
Mm-hmm.
And so I personally think Giannis has to learn to pass more because he takes up so much space in the paint. His ability, Jokic is so good because of his ability to pass.
Yeah.
Giannis is more athletic. Giannis can be better than Jokic. He's got to learn to pass.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. We see this so many times with pro athletes and such as they get older and such. Are they willing to adapt? Are they willing to change their game a little bit more too? And is Giannis willing to do that? At this point, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have a good. I'm not trying to cop out of this. I don't have a good gauge of what the future is going to look like. I really don't. I think right now, I guess if I had to make a bet, I don't think Giannis is back with the Bucks next year. I don't. I think we will see him again this year, but I think that's going to be the last time we see Giannis in a Bucks uniform, and I hate that. Yeah, I get it from a business side, but at the same time, it's like, if Steph Curry, the Warriors aren't winning it all this year, but if Steph Curry is going to stay with the Warriors and all that, why can't Giannis stay with the Bucks? I miss that, those days when it used to be something like that. But
yeah, I'd love for him to stay.
Mm-hmm.
But defense wins championships. I mean, you look at the last time the Bucks won a championship is because we had a good defense and Giannis wasn't point guard like he is.
Yeah,
we had a genius in Drew Holiday who was able to move the ball around. So we're missing a lot of pieces to this roster.
Yeah. Yeah, it stinks, but I think we'll see him eventually again. I think Giannis is going to win out. What if Giannis says, hey, you're playing me because I don't want to be back and I want to say goodbye to the fans?
I mean...
Or what if he says, you don't play me, then I'm definitely don't want to be back. If you play me, then I'll come back.
Little manipulation.
Yeah.
I could see it. I do think he'll end up playing anyways, just because, I mean, we pay him that much. You might as well play him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Can we? My question is, can we sit Doc the rest of the year? just let him sit.
I'd rather have Darvin Ham right now. I mean, I think that's, I don't know who the next head coach is going to be. There's no way Doc could be the head coach next year. There's just stop. If he is, other people have to be let go.
Yeah.
And then those people come in, and then they let Doc go
please.
or something like that. It's just, that cannot happen. Cannot happen. All right, we got to take a quick break, but plenty more to get to. Let's talk some baseball coming up here, all right? We are 1 week away from opening day for the Milwaukee Brewers. So we'll talk some baseball coming up after these quick words. Accidents happen, but getting back on the road shouldn't be stressful. At Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire, you will find experienced technicians, quality craftsmanship and service that you can trust. From collision repair and dent removal to full paint work and insurance coordination, they handle the details so you do not have to. They'll restore your vehicle the right way, safely, professionally, and with attention to every detail. When your vehicle needs extra care, choose the team that puts quality first. That's Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire, bringing your vehicle back to life, one repair at a time. We are 1 week away from today for the opening day for the Milwaukee Brewers, and we do have a game tonight on the radio. So looking at the studio schedule here, just a quick note. Since it's a late game tonight for the Brewers, because they're going to be taking on the Rangers at coverage begins at 8. First pitch is going to be at 8:10. The Bucks game then is going to be on our sister station, The Farm, 95.9, 11:50 a.m. So just a little bit of a scheduling note there to pass along. But we just got, for radio-wise, tonight's game and then 3 more spring training games, and then we're off to the regular season here. So with 1 week left to go, what's maybe the last question remaining for this thing, for this team heading into it? Is it, could Lockridge unseat Blake Perkins for that primary backup outfielder? Pat Murphy the other day after their nearly 4-hour-long spring training game where Lockridge hit his 4th home run of the spring training and it was a grand slam, acknowledged that he could be, or he is in the conversation for the opening day roster and such. Is that the last remaining question? Is it still pitching and such? How do you feel about the ball club's chances before, or how do you feel about the ball club's chances heading into the season? What are some maybe final thoughts on this last week of spring training games that you have in turn for the crew right now?
Not a ton.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of them. I'm interested to see how they look at spring training this year, just because we had Vinny Capra hit like 6 home runs last spring training, and then hit a home run on opening day and probably didn't get another hit the whole year. So I'm interested to see how they look at it. Personally, I think Blake Perkins deserves a shot. Maybe they give it to Lockridge. I think it's pretty set in stone otherwise. We'll see how Joey Ortiz does. Jet Williams obviously was optioned to the minors. So it's going to be fun. With all the injuries, though, I guess a question I could see it coming up is who's going to be the 5th starter in that rotation with Priester hurt. Is Woodruff going to be ready for opening day? Is Miz going to be the starter? I think it mostly has to do with the pitching staff, but we have so much depth that we can handle it this year. So
right, yeah, definitely. So I'm after the World Baseball Classic. I mean, just a little bit of a note. I think I could tell this because you told me off the air. Intern's voice a little off because of World Baseball Classic. You must have gotten really into the game, but I loved it. I don't know about. I mean, it was awesome, and yeah, a lot of us wanted Team USA to win and such, but it was a close game. The whole thing with the whole tournament, I think it's such a great idea. You know, when they started a while ago, a few years ago, after the Olympics stopped having baseball in it, to have the World Baseball Classic, because it's such an even playing field, I think, too, with all the different countries represented. Yes, Japan's got it a couple times here, but now you got Venezuela winning it for the first time. Team USA has won it. I mean, you throw in the Dominican Republic, Italy as a Cinderella team this year. There's so much parity, I think, when it comes to this World Baseball Classic, that it works. And I think it was another example this year where it works.
Yeah, the Dominican Republic game was so fun to watch. But I struggle with favorites when we go into baseball season, just because anything can change. And, that we talked about how the USA is such a favorite in the World Baseball Classic and Japan is such a favorite. But baseball is a game where you almost need series, because we saw it with Japan. Venezuela was able to beat them on a good day, and Venezuela got hot. That's the only reason they won the thing. And USA...
And Team Italy beat USA too. So
I mean, baseball is such a hard sport to have favorites for that USA should have won. They just should have. They had the better roster. They had more opportunities in the game to score. But baseball, talk about for football any given Sunday. Baseball really is any given day because you've seen the Brewers went 6-0 against the Dodgers last year.
Yeah.
And lost in the postseason in 4.
Yeah.
So it's any day, and that's what makes it so fun.
Mm-hmm. Kind of maybe this will be something for next week and such, but right now, you picking the Dodgers to win the World Series or the field?
Dodgers.
So you'd take the Dodgers over the field?
I would take the Dodgers.
Okay. You got 29 other teams to choose from or such. You'd still go Dodgers?
I would love to pick the field. I would love to, but somehow they got better. I don't know how that's possible, but they got better, and that scares me.
And you know what really annoys me? Because I was talking about like Paul Skeens, and Paul Skeens was awesome in the World Baseball Classic and such. And, it's like Pirates did a little bit more this offseason. They spent more considering what they've spent in years past and such. And I don't think they're going to be all of a sudden a World Series contender and such. But nonetheless, you're already talking about where's Paul Skeens going to go in that, and if it is via a trade, because I think that would be one the Pirates would be stupid just to let him walk and not get anything in return. You instantly look at the Dodgers, and everybody just assumes the Dodgers because of money, but the thing that's so annoying is that they're the second best farm system, too, so they have the prospects that they could trade over for a guy like Paul Skeens. That's the frustrating part, and it's a tip of the cap to them because they're a well-run franchise. They got everything working for them. They have money to spend, and obviously their scouts are doing a fantastic job, and their coaching staff is doing a fantastic job to where they've got the biggest salary in baseball, but the second best farm system, or for some, still the best farm system in all of Major League Baseball. Everything is working for them, and they're winning World Series too. So it's like everything. It's like they got it all figured out, it seems like.
I saw a stat the other day where Dodgers have more payroll this year than Team USA, which is crazy. But everybody hates the Dodgers. I don't mind them. Why? Because the Mets have the money, and they're not spending it. The Giants have the money.
Well, Mets are spending it, but they're not spending it wisely, maybe.
Yeah, but the Dodgers are saying we want championships, and they're going and getting them. I mean, they're not the only team with money. The Angels are in L.A. too. Yeah. Or not L.A., but they're in
Los
California
Angeles
too.
of Anaheim.
They can spend the money too. The Dodgers are the team that's actually like, we're just going to do it. And so I was telling my brother, though, I think that if the Brewers were to ever make a big move and sign somebody to a monster deal, I would want Paul Skeens.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Just if we're going to give one person a deal, trade for Skeens and get him in Milwaukee.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. I do think, I was watching some other clips, and I think it was a John Smoltz interview. And he was asked about like what player kind of really, maybe did the world or the nation kind of get to know more of, and he picked Bryce Terang. And he said it was Bryce Terang, and he talked about how Mark DeRosa just kept singing the praises of Bryce Terang and such. And I mean, it's hard to not argue that. You look at that lineup, and you got Bryce Harper, you've got Aaron Judge, you've got Bobby Witt Jr., Roman Anthony is a youngster, but he's a top prospect that a lot of people kind of already knew ahead of time. And, Cal Raleigh and all those. And then it's like Bryce Terang's at the bottom of the lineup hitting almost 400. We know about the defense and such, but it's just he has been so fun over the last few years to see him continue to get better and better and better. And, he's pricing himself out of Milwaukee. We know that. But, again, you look at the depth that they've got in the farm system. It's like they're prepared for that whenever that time comes, although hopefully it's not for a few years yet because they still have all those arbitration years for Bryce Terang and that. But that is definitely, I would say, he is definitely a guy. And I think if you're a Brewers fan, you look at that, you saw Jackson Chourio on a world stage. Contreras was there, a little bit more known commodities and such. But Luke Fisher for Team Italy. I think now Brewers fans are like, okay, is that our third baseman now? Dude was absolutely raking for Team Italy over at third base. So I think if you're a Brewers fan, you look at the World Baseball Classic as a whole and say, we were well represented. Zerpa pitched well.
He looked untouchable.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you are the Brewers right now, you got to be feeling, okay, that trade now and bringing in Zerpa, we feel maybe a little bit better or feel a lot better with him coming in here too. So I think if you're the Brewers or or the Brewers a Brewers fan, you look at that World Baseball Classic and you're like, hey, we represented really well as a franchise with a lot of our players there.
I would love to know what the Brewers think of Fisher, just because, I mean, he was seeing MLB pitching.
Yeah.
And he was hitting almost 400.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when could we see him is my question. I don't think it's this year. But if he's going to do that, get him on the team as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he definitely, for Brewers fans that maybe not follow like the minor leagues or the prospects or just don't know a whole lot about him, they probably do now. Yeah. I would hope so, that you do know. You know Jesus Mate. Now you know Fisher. So, yes, he was a first-round pick in that, but going on the world stage like that and performing the way he did was pretty darn cool. So, it made me more excited for baseball season, I think, too, after watching the World Baseball Classic. So, all right, we got to take our final break, and then we're at halftime. Continue to send us your Final Fours. How far do you have Wisconsin going, and who's your national champion? All right, hit us up with a text or join in on the Section 105 video chat. Quick break, and we'll be back to wrap up the second hour after these quick words. Pain doesn't have to slow you down. And at Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, their experienced team is focused on getting you back to doing what you love, whether that's competing on the field or staying active or simply moving without discomfort. From joint pain and sports injuries to advanced surgical and non-surgical treatments, they provide a personalized care designed around you. Local experts, advanced techniques, real results. If pain is holding you back, take the next step towards recovery. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, helping you move better every single day. Vikings fans, you should be pumped. Carson Wentz just re-signed, so you've got a quarterback controversy going on now. You got 3 former top 10 picks with Carson, Kyler, and J.J. McCarthy now all on the roster. So there you have it. Quarterback controversy. I'm kidding. So we got a few picks here. Surveyor. Surveyor already looked up your bracket, but he's got the greatest 4 days in sports history is here. I've got Wisconsin advancing to Sweet 16 before falling by 2 to Arizona. National championship comes back to the Big Ten and Illinois. John says Final Four is Duke, Houston, Arizona, and Tennessee. Championship game is Houston versus Arizona, with Houston winning. Also have Wisconsin losing to Arizona. Dave says Badgers going to Sweet 16 both by brackets, both times losing to Arizona. And in one bracket, Arizona wins it all. The other, Michigan, wins it all. That's the other thing, too. How many brackets do you usually do? I've only done one. Bracket of integrity, man. I only do one. Bracket of integrity. I used to do brackets with people that would do like 4 or 5. I got to go with the one sheet. Bracket of integrity.
Good for you. Good for you. I do a lot.
I was like, because the thing for me, it would probably just really upset me if I did 2 of them. And I would be like, why didn't I just combine these? Like if I would combine them, I'd have the best so that would just annoy me. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to cut it down to 1. And because it would really annoy me is if like I had the same amount of points on each one. I was like, I scored 90 points on this. 90 on that one. That didn't really do anything for me. So I just stayed
I do have an excuse that I have. So I'm in, our family does a bracket challenge every year, and then I'm in 2 friend groups with bracket challenges. So, but I do a lot. Yeah. It's just fun to me. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. I just like filling them out, and maybe getting $1 million sometime. But.
Right. John with a Takeover Thursday. Clay Matthews in his prime or Micah Parsons? Who would you take? To me, that's kind of easy.
Yeah.
I'm going Micah. I'm going Micah Parsons. That's not a knock on Clay Matthews, but I'm going Micah Parsons.
I mean, you've seen what he's done his first.
Yeah.
How many years?
Yeah, I'm going Micah Parsons. So again, that's nothing against Clay Matthews or such, but I'm going. I'd go Micah Parsons with that one because I think Micah Parsons is a very Reggie White-esque. Not saying he is, but that type of game record, game changer. And Clay was. I mean, he had a couple really like all-pro great years with Green Bay. I don't want to take that away, but give me Micah.
Yeah.
I'm taking Micah in that instance. So Micah's better at his prime right now than Clay was at his prime. I don't think that's hot take or anything.
Mm-mm.
So continue to send over your Takeover Thursday questions. You can text those on over to us, 715-830-1912, or you can join in on the video stream if you would like. Also, Jake is going to be joining us, DNR Warren Jake, at 8:30 at the bottom of the hour. So if you got any questions, please, now is the time. You have to send those on over right now. All right? You have to do it right now in the next, let's say, 10 minutes or so we can get those passed along to Mr. Jake. So, all right. So, yeah, we got that. Also, what is, if anybody else has any more enough's enough, send those on over too. Dave, love the bracket integrity, LOL. I'm kind of a integrity type of person.
Yeah.
Not really, but it's just, mine is because I don't want to stress myself out any more than I have to, because I would. I stress out about stupid stuff. So that's why I stopped playing fantasy football.
Oh.
I stress myself out over it because I don't want to ever get in the situation where I need Justin Jefferson to score 3 touchdowns over Green Bay to win my fantasy football league. I don't want to go through that in life, so I stopped.
Yeah.
I retired on top, winning like 3 years in a row. I'm like,
wow.
I'm done. But I don't want to get into that situation anymore. I hate it. Hate it.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of like the Badgers can bust my bracket. Like, they're the only team that can. But
yeah, exactly.
They can.
I'll be happy if they make the Final Four or national championship. I don't care.
I mean, I don't even care if they beat Arizona, and then lose. I'm okay with that.
Yep. Gray Man Mike. Oh, this came in kind of wonky here with he tried to do the bracket wise here. Michigan State, Houston, Arizona. This takes time to text it like this. Arizona, Michigan, Michigan State, Michigan. So another one. I think because we had somebody else earlier say that, and Michigan winning it all. The Badgers losing to Arizona, but I wouldn't be surprised if they make the Final Four. Injuries gave them depth, and they are healthy now. So, all right, can anybody top? I want to know anybody who fills out 4 or 5 or more brackets. I want to see who's out there that because I remember when I was in high school, there was somebody that was in our bracket stuff that would do 5, and I just dude, you're insane. He's also a compulsive gambler, so that's part of it. But I gotta know if anybody out there does double-digit brackets,
that's
legit, not just for fun, but legit. We'll throw in there double-digit brackets. What's the highest? Let's see if we can find the highest person. So, what's the most you've turned in for a bracket challenge? Let's just put it out there. So, oh no, never mind. All right. I want to talk a little football coming up in the next hour or two because there is something that's potentially coming down the wire in the NFL that is going to conjure some bad memories here in a little bit. So we'll tell you the latest on maybe replacement officials again coming down the wire for the NFL. Yeah, that ordeal potentially again. So we'll take a quick break, top of the hour news, and we'll be back after these quick words. All right, third quarter kicks off right now on this Thursday morning. Happy March Madness opening day. I don't care that we had play-in games already, but this is the opening day for March Madness. What you got planned for today? Anybody got anything traditional-wise in that? I know our friend Brandon, I think he's going to be making his buffalo chicken sandwiches that he's always had since like college, he said. I'll have to double-check with him tomorrow and such. I'll just ask why, Surveyor. Why? He's got 7 brackets. Like in the same league, or doesn't matter. Why? Why? I hope you're at the VFW tomorrow so I can say why to your face. Like, why do you 7? We got to come on now. I'm on a mission now to make sure everybody just does brackets of integrity from going forward. Max 2. Max at 2. Max at 2. 7 brackets. You don't have any skills by making game picks if you're doing 7 brackets. That's my thought.
But do we really have skills picking this anyways?
Yeah, sometimes.
Are there skills involved?
You're increasing your luck and your chances because it's fun. It's not. You know what's fun? When I beat people like you with my bracket of integrity. That's what's fun. So. But I will say the last 2 years, my kid has beaten me with his bracket of integrity. So there you go. So he said, Takeover Thursday question. With the way Greg Gard has adapted to the changes in college basketball and his own philosophy changes, is he now considered the greatest Wisconsin basketball coach of all time? I'd still say no.
Yeah.
I still give it to Bo Ryan. I think you got to look at Final Fours and championship banners. So not saying Greg Gard can't get there. But right now, I'm still going Bo Ryan because of the Final Four appearances and national championship appearance and such. And I would even argue, too, you look at those 2 years, it wasn't the old Wisconsin 50 points a game swing. Bo Ryan's offense adapted, too, with Frank the Tank and Sam Decker. They were a little bit more up-tempo and higher scoring as well. So, it's still Bo Ryan for me. So, but, hey, I'd love to have that conversation in a few years if Greg Gard gets the Badgers to some Final Fours, and I think it's almost maybe Greg Gard's kind of like a Pat Murphy in the sense if Pat Murphy wins a World Series for the Brewers, it's easy. He's the greatest manager in Brewers history. If Greg Gard wins a national championship, then I think you could probably say he's over Bo Ryan.
So here's a question. Do you, in your mind, value a Big Ten championship, like tournament championship, or a Final Four more?
Final Four. Yep, Final Four. 100% Final Four.
Yeah.
Like regular season or tournament championship. Doesn't matter, Final Four.
Tournament.
Yeah. It's Final Four. Because you remember the Final Fours.
Yep.
You don't remember the conference tournament yet. You get a nice trophy and all that. I understand that. And they put a banner. But Final Fours are more prestigious.
So what's the cutoff? Like Elite Eight or Big Ten championship?
I'd probably still say Elite Eight.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Because I remember when Bo Ryan, before they went to the Final Fours, there was the sense of like, okay, kind of like the Brewers in a little bit where, all right, it's cool, we're making Sweet 16s, but can we have a little bit more? Like they wanted a little bit more. Then it was like Elite Eight, and I was like, oh man, that's okay, Elite Eight. And then the Final Fours was like, hey, and that's what still hurts so much about 15 because I think for a lot of us, we still have the mindset that's not going to happen again. Getting to a national championship. I've kind of backed off that a little bit, but at the same time, it's really hard. Really hard when you're not a Duke or a top tier program that probably is going to be in it every single year. So, but I don't know. I'd like to have that conversation if Wisconsin does make deep runs and gets to a national championship. So, Steve says, you think 5 March Madness brackets is a lot. I was in an online fantasy football league a few years ago where one guy said he was in 45 different leagues. Well, I know we have Eric Balkman on during fantasy football. He's our fantasy football expert. I think he's in like hundreds, but that's his job. So, he's, that's for the regular Joes, why?
Yeah, at some point it's got to get hard to manage.
Yeah.
Like I have 3 leagues I'm in, and it gets hard to manage those.
Unless you're like Dale from the movie Step Brothers, and that's his job. He's a manager of a fantasy football or fantasy baseball league.
There you go.
As he tells his stepmom. So, but I can't do that. No. Give me the integrity stuff. I guess I'm more of I got more integrity than surveyor right now. So that's the way
you got more integrity than a lot of people then.
Or it's just, again, I don't want to keep track of multiple stuff because I'm lazy. That could be the other part too. So that could be the other reason. It depends on how you look at it. I choose to look at it with integrity, not laziness. So I just want the one go-to. Maybe part of it was I used to, before online brackets became a thing, I used to run our bracket stuff, so it was all paper. So I'd always have the folder and the highlighter and the black marker, and I got tired of it. Like, hundreds of brackets are going through and then adding, and then people wouldn't stop asking, what's the updated one? I'm like, we are halfway through Friday. Let us get through the first round first. Stop bugging me. So that's probably where I was the one that always had to do that. So maybe that's why I'm like, no, you're down to one. Make it simple on me.
That's our family. So, we do paper brackets.
I still like paper brackets.
I like them better than online.
I do too.
It's like better when you get it right.
Yeah, and you get the highlighter out.
The yellow highlighter, whatever. Yep. Yeah, it's like, yes, I actually did something.
And then when you see more of the yellow instead of the black crossouts, it's like, oh, yeah, I know. Yep. That's one thing I miss in college. We used to have a poster of the bracket, and we'd keep it filled in and updated and such like that. So those were good times.
Something like that in here.
Yeah, I should. I did see a poster I could use every year, just redo it. I should have picked it up. But yeah, good times back in college. Kids don't know what it's like anymore. Paper brackets and highlighters and markers. Always fill out a bracket with a pen, though, too, right?
Yeah.
Have to do it with a pen. People who do it with a pencil, grinds my gears.
They're
cheaters. I don't trust them.
Yeah, no.
I don't trust them. You can do your first bracket with a pencil as, like, in case you do, like, I always had a process. Okay, I'll do it. Take a break. Come back. If you want to do your first one in pencil, your first draft, we'll just say the first draft. Then the official one has to be in pen or marker. Can't be pencil. Because I don't trust you, especially if you hold on to the bracket. I don't trust you.
Yeah.
I can't. So, yeah, I am turning into the bracket version of the Soup Nazi. Yeah, it's exactly it. Yeah. No, there's no. You only get one slice of the pie. You get the integrity part. That's what it should be. Cheating the game, surveyor. You're cheating the game by doing this. So I'm glad for our bracket challenge we can only do one. So there you have it.
There you go.
There you have it. But all right, what's your Final Fours, peeps? Send them on over. You can share it with the rest of the class. And who do you have for the national championship football-wise? So there's a report out there that the NFL, get ready for this, is preparing for backup, replacement, however the heck you want to call them, officials for the upcoming season. Because, surprise, surprise, it's another CBA negotiation, collective bargaining agreement association with the officials. If this sounds familiar, yeah, it was, 2013, 2012, whatever it was.
2012.
Yeah, 2012. The Fail Mary game. You're welcome, the rest of the league, for that. But, yeah, the NFL, according to ESPN, is laying groundwork for hiring replacement officials this season if the league is unable to agree on a new collective bargain agreement with the NFL Referees Association. Have we not learned our lesson? Did we not? How bad that was? Did we not learn our lesson here? I get negotiations, and maybe this is a part of the negotiation to put a little bit more pressure on the referees, like saying, okay, we're going to go ahead and go this. I hope, but for crying out loud, this is ridiculous. And reading a little bit from ESPN, their NFL referees executive director, Scott Green, said the contingency plan raises two key issues. The first is what Green believes would be an increased vulnerability to gamblers among replacement officials. The second is the safety of players in games covered by officials who have not previously experienced the size and speed of the NFL game. Frankly, he said, quote, I'm surprised they would even consider it after 2012. So I hope it's just a gamesmanship sort of thing, but if we get to this season and it's replacement officials again, shame on you, NFL. Shame on you. And I think part of it is because they know they can get away with a lot of stuff and people still tune in.
Yeah.
Because NFL is king. And I think they act with that mindset. I guess I can't blame them. I mean, people still buy the product and people still, they got a lot of the cards on their side. And I just, for the love of Mary, I do not want to see replacement officials again. Come on now.
I think for your video series, you should become an NFL ref.
Oh, no. Shout out to any official at any league, even like elementary basketball, because I had to do that a long time ago. It is still the people, the refs, the coaches and the parents. It's like, stop. I tip of the cap to all these officials out there. But for crying out loud, I don't think I would. I don't know if you could pay me enough to be an NFL official. Like, we complain about that a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't think you could. I guess there's a price on everything. But I don't know if I could go through being berated for 3 hours by human beings who could kill me. Physically kill me.
I could do like the sideline ref, that like.
Well, then the coach is in your ear the whole time and yelling at you and all that. I'd want to be the chain gang.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Let me do that because...
Hey, do that for your video. Be a chain gang, yeah.
That would be awesome. Because that, I mean, who cares? Because then there's they can adjust it electronically and such. I'm just carrying a chain sort of thing. I'd be okay with that. But I don't think I could do the sideline because then the coaches, even if you're not the official that made the call, you're the closest to the coach, and that coach is going to be in your ear the whole dang time. We see it on TV all the time. I don't think you can pay me to be that one. I can't. True. And then I can't be the main one by the quarterback either because everybody's, or the secondary because you got somebody complaining that it was pass interference or something. Yeah, I just know.
The one behind the defensive line always scares me.
Yeah.
I'd get run over.
What if a ball's coming at you or, you're getting run over.
Yeah.
Yep. Because then if you get in the way of like a route or something, you get knocked over and then you get berated. So it's a double whammy. I just, no. Even like baseball, I wouldn't want to be behind the dish. I see too many of those umpires get nailed in the what region and then get yelled at. And I'd like to know some of the conversations between catcher, hitter, and umpire. Like, we got to get those mic'd up and unscripted. Let's see some of that. So basketball, everybody just complains. So, I mean, they complain about every little thing out there, travel and all that.
Basketball would be hard.
Yeah. So I have mad respect. We still complain about it once in a while, but mad respect for those who do it because I can't. I can't. I don't want to be berated and yelled at by grown individuals all the time. I get enough of that already. I don't need it more. So, we got Grandma Mike. My brother runs a paper bracket still to this day. He gets about anywhere from 100 to 120. My second bracket is the one I have with my wife. I have my wife fill out. She doesn't watch a game all year, but beats me every year. So, but yeah, that's kind of what Hudson's like. He doesn't watch one, but he fills it out, and he's beaten me the last 2 years. He's actually finished top 3 and won the Sports Talk one 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Though he went all chalk though, so that's. All right, let's take a quick break. Last call for any questions for Jake. Please text those on over. We'll get to him here in about 13 minutes or so. But really quick break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Tax season is here, and that refund check, well, hey, it's more than just extra spending money. It's also an opportunity. This year, why not invest it right where you live? Upgrade your home with beautiful new flooring from Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Whether you've been dreaming about warm, comfortable carpet, durable luxury vinyl planks like the innovative Ridge and Max flooring, or maybe some waterproof options, your tax return could go a long ways towards transforming the look and feel of your home. And at Carpet City Flooring Center, you'll find expert guidance, professional installation, and flooring options for every budget. Don't let that refund disappear on some of the little things you won't remember next month. Put it towards something that you will see and enjoy every single day. Stop on in to Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire and turn your tax return into a home upgrade that you will love for years to come. Again, final call for any questions for Jake. He'll be joining us in about 7-8 minutes or so. You can also continue to send us your Final Four picks and your national championship picks and how far you've got the Badgers going. Badgers will be in action today at 12:50, going up against High Point. So send over those predictions. Oh, man. Just saw this NBA little thing. Cade Cunningham has been diagnosed with a collapsed lung and is expected to miss an extended period of time. So it's a big loss for the Pistons, who are at the top of the Eastern Conference. Man, just opening the door now for the Celtics to get through this thing again.
Or the Bucks, right?
Yeah. Of course. Of course, the Bucks. So, man, that's huge. That is a huge, huge loss for Detroit. So, got a few more Final Four picks here. Michigan, Arizona, Duke, and my thing just froze. I started to say it without having it loaded. It's what you get for having too many windows opened. Michigan, Houston, Arizona, Duke. So that's the Final Four from Ben. Sorry, Ben. I was going back and forth and then froze up there for a second. Another one, we've got UConn. We got UConn, Houston, Arizona, and Duke. A lot of Dukes, I think. No, that can't be right. UConn and Duke can't be in the same one, right?
Mm-mm.
No. So maybe resend that one over.
Yeah,
resend that one over. So might have been looking. Hey, maybe you have too many brackets. That's the problem, right? You lose track if you have too many brackets.
No integrity these days.
No integrity when it comes to these brackets. So UConn, Houston, Michigan, and Arizona is another one. I want to know who's got a low seed in the Final Four. What's the lowest seed you have in the Final Four? Anybody have any cojones and picking, say, a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seed in the Final Four? Anybody got that? I want to know. We got a Tennessee, I know.
We did.
I know Brandon's got BYU. They are a 6. So we got 2 6s in there. That's the highest. Is it highest, lowest? Yeah. Highest seed. It's always, you know what I mean. It's like low is like, okay, the ones, but that's the highest seed. So where's like the, okay, I guess it would be lowest seed probably. What's the lowest seed that you have advancing to the Final Four? So Surveyors got 3. I got Illinois in mine too, so that's mine. But I'm looking for maybe, let's say 5 on up. Does anybody have? So the lowest one we have right now is between somebody with Tennessee and Brandon with BYU at a 6. So can anybody beat that? Anybody got a 7? Anybody got 8? Feel like an auctioneer right now. Can I get a 7? Can I get an 8? Can I get a 9? I don't even know who I'd throw in that possibility, to be honest with you.
Yeah, as a 5, I mean Vanderbilt.
Or even like after a 6, like. So if we're looking at a 7 or
UCLA 8. Is the only one.
UCLA, I have a lot of people picking them.
I have Miami going pretty far. But UCLA, I just feel like they could beat UConn and Michigan State. But I don't think they can beat Duke.
Mickey would get that coach just, it's like he could play about every little thing. Oh, Mickey Cronin. Man, that guy. So, yeah, if anybody has a 7 or higher, I'd be curious. I know Jake does brackets. I'll have to ask him here coming up here. So, tell you what, let's take a quick break, and then we'll get to Jake here. We'll chat a little outdoors with him and get his picks on what he's got for the Final Four. Jake's a big basketball guy. So, all right, quick break, and we'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Hunting season will be here before you know it, and that preparation starts right now. At Tilden Gun, they know serious hunters don't wait until opening day to get ready. Whether you are gearing up for the upcoming spring turkey season or maybe planning ahead for fall, now is the time to make sure that your equipment is dialed in. From shotguns and rifles to optics, ammunition, and must-have accessories, Tilden Gun has the selection and expertise to help you step into the woods with confidence. Maybe it's time to upgrade your setup. Maybe it's time to sight in that new optic. Or maybe it's just stocking up so you're not scrambling later. Turkey season demands precision, patience, and preparation. Step on in to Tilden Gun and talk with the people who understand the hunt because they live it too. Tilden Gun, get ready now so that you're ready when it matters the most. Obviously, we've got those spring turkey extra tags on sale this week. Zone 4 going up on sale at 10 o'clock here this morning. So just a quick reminder out there. Let's talk some more turkey hunting, more outdoors with our guy, Mr. Jake Boakes. First things first, though, Jake, everybody wants to know, who do you got in your Final Four in your national championship game?
You know, I've made a lot of brackets online to try to win, you know, the old classic trip to the Final Four, $1 million, yada, yada. And I've been kind of all over the board. So before 10, I still got to get I'm going to make 2 official ones for the group that I do it with. And I don't have a solid pick yet, to be honest.
All right.
I've been kind of all over the board. I've been going this way. I've been kind of, you know, there's a lot of 1 and 2 seeds I've been kind of riding this year, which I like to throw in some more, you know, 3s and 5s and 7s, but it just seems like the 1s and 2s this year I think are a little bit better than some of the rest.
Jake, you missed my rant earlier. I'm all about the bracket of integrity, so I don't know if I like hearing that you got multiple brackets, man. I mean, come on, dude.
Well, you got to put in for the money. You got to put in for those fun ESPN things. But
right.
I hear you. I usually do just 1. I might do 2 this year, but I've always usually just ridden the 1 because then I know what I'm watching when I'm watching TV. But we'll see. I don't know. Part of me wants to do Duke. Part of me wants to do Florida. Part of me wants to do Arizona. I don't know.
Yeah, mine is, I don't want to stress myself out with multiple ones because then I'll just get mad that I didn't do it on that bracket, but I did it on that bracket, right, sort of thing. So, yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good way to look at it. I like that.
I'm getting too old now. I can't handle much more stress on this age, on this body. So,
right.
You know.
Well, yeah. Well, for me, those online ones are more just fun. Like, oh, it's cool. They tell you that you're ranked 10 millionth out of 100 million or whatever, you know.
Yep. Try to get in the top 20% or something like that. It's like, all right, I'm top 20
right,
in the
yeah,
nation.
it's kind of just interesting. One day you're at the top 1% and you think you're great, and then you wake up in the morning you're at 50%. You know, you're with the rest of America. So
yeah, that's me.
Interesting. It's a fun day. It's a really fun day. It's a fun time. I know. You know, I'm sure you've been talking about that a lot today. It's just it's a good time of year. It really kind of hits the fact that along with obviously you leading up to the turkey stuff here. It's just you got spring turkey hunting, you got March Madness. The sun's out today. It's supposed to be 60 this weekend. It's definitely going to give you some positive mental attitudes to be out and about and have spring coming.
Absolutely. You just mentioned turkeys, so those extra tags have been going on sale all week long. So again, a reminder: Zone 4 is going to be available for today, and if you're not sure of what week's available, what's left for that week, I already got the page up because I'm ready to get some extra ones here today. So, but it's a good reminder, you know, just because there's a lot going on, like you said. So maybe it's just a good reminder for everybody that are turkey hunters. Hey, get in because there's not a lot of tags left on certain weeks and such.
Correct. Yeah. So, like you mentioned, Zone 4 today, and then Thursday. So everything else is going to start opening up soon too. So if you are going to get some bonus tags, now's the time to do it. Obviously, if you're just going to get the tag that you want, it's also that you were drawn. Then it's also just a good time to buy your license and get that tag and get it all in because we're less than a month away from the start of the turkey season here. So it's good just to get all that licensing done, whether you're doing the bonus tag or not. And if you are, you know, every day this week, the one thing that some people forget about is like each day of the week, you're only allowed to buy a bonus tag for that zone. So like today is Zone 4, so you can only buy Zone 4 tags like throughout the whole day. And that includes like Monday was zone 1, Tuesday 2. That whole gimmick. Once they go through the list, then it'll open up to you can buy any zone for any available week left.
That's a good note, yeah, because I think maybe some people are like, oh, I bought zone 3 yesterday. Today I should be able to buy another zone 3 or something like that, but that's not the case.
Yeah, and I knew that, but I still went on there yesterday. I wanted to get another bonus zone 1 tag for the end of the season. And I logged in and I could only go for zone 3, which was yesterday. So you just got to wait till they open it up to everybody here.
And that'll be on Saturday when all remaining bonus authorizations go on sale too. So because tomorrow it'll be zone 5 and 7 because there are none available for zone 6. So.
Yes, sir. Yeah, nope, you got it there. So it's the time to do it. I mean, you can zone 1 usually always has some at the end of the year and stuff like that. So, if you don't get them now, there's usually a chance that you can get something if you want to get out. It's just you got to make sure to look at that map, and you might have to travel to some new areas to find some public land or whatnot. But that's totally fine. I think that's the fun thing about turkeys is you can go and find them.
Right. Hey, Jake, I want to switch over to fishing here because I think it's one of the more maybe, I don't know if underrated is the right word, but especially around here in Eau Claire, there's quite a few like fly fishing guides and guide services. And I know it's in a couple of weeks here, but the inland trout season is going to be opening up a little bit earlier this year, right? On April 4th?
Yeah, you read my mind on that. I had that popped up to chat on today. So the reason, I'm glad you brought it up, and the reason I was going to bring it up is because that kind of flew under the radar if you're a trout fisherman. The inland trout season generally started around the same time as the general opener for all fishing, but I don't know why, not in a bad way, but I don't have any information on why, but they bumped the trout opener to like you said, April 4th or whatever weekend that is, which is a whole month earlier than in the past. So it looks like it's going to be warm, so it's going to look like it's going to give plenty of opportunity, and it should be a good time. So if you are a trout angler, be mindful and get ready. You got to get ready a little bit earlier than everyone else to get out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And with all that snow too, I mean, with rivers and such, is that something maybe for a lot of people to kind of be aware, because it's a quick warm up, especially coming up this weekend too, like elevated water levels and such?
Yeah, you definitely want to be mindful. We did get a lot. I guess the North did get, the thing we got to think about is like what's coming through the Chippewa and the Eau Claire or the Black River, and where do those rivers come from? Because, we got 24 inches in Osseo, but that's not going to affect the Chippewa up here in Eau Claire because that's all going downstream. So, if we're thinking about, the confluence here in town or on different parts of it, we want to think about what the snowpack is, what the rain is like in that watershed upstream. So we're definitely going to get an influx of water coming through. They got some snow up north when we didn't really get much through here. So it'll definitely rise. So you're right. It's really good to be mindful of that. If you're planning on taking out a 12-foot or 14-foot little boat and the water's high and there's little ice chunks still and you don't have a good anchor and maybe you got a 1972 grandpa's hand-me-down life jacket, maybe it's not the best time to go out. Or, just plan for it. Get some new life jackets, get stronger anchors and different stuff like that. Just to your point, be mindful, be safe. It's just like hunting in the fall when you should plan your hunt. It's just like snowmobiling and ATVing where you should be wearing your helmet and driving safe and not being drunk. And, same with boating. Know the river, know the water body. Be mindful where you're going, and the water's still going to be cold too. So if you do fall in, you're dealing with the whole hypothermia type thing.
Right. Yeah. No question. So I mean, is there any ice on any of the lakes left? Do you see people still ice fishing at all, or are they pretty much just kind of preparing for the summer now?
Yeah. So I know there are still people out ice fishing this weekend. There was still, if you can get onto the ice, there was still good ice. Now, I haven't been out patrolling since this week, and I dealt with that big lockup on I-94 on Sunday. Actually, it was the first time I've ever taken a snowmobile on I-94, so that was neat. But so I haven't been out. I would imagine all this snow has put a lot of weight and pressure on that ice, and I would think that those shorelines that were already pretty rough to get on are pretty bad now, especially with all the sun the next couple of days. So I would think more people are focusing on trout fishing, spring turkey coming, and the youth turkey hunt, and everything else that comes with spring, shed hunting, yada yada.
Yeah, you mentioned going back to turkey here quick too with the youth turkey hunt. Can you kind of maybe just maybe we got some listeners like, oh, what, I got a youngster that maybe wants to partake in that for the first time and such. What's kind of that process like to take a youth a younger kiddo turkey hunting for that opener?
Yeah, so the first thing I would say is definitely make sure to open up the regulations, go to the turkey page, and they have a whole column dedicated to the youth turkey hunting season. Read through that, because it's going to give all the information you need for the youth as well as for the mentor, the dates, and some of the info that's important with it. So the main takeaways for the youth turkey hunter season is that I believe it's April 11th and 12th, if I got the weekends right.
Yep.
It's going to be that everyone under 16, you can only shoot one turkey. A few years ago, there was some language that was wrong in the regulation book that kind of allowed people to shoot more than one, even though you couldn't. It's one turkey per youth, and you can use any of your of the youth turkey season. So, like, if you want to use your A tag right away, then use it. If that's the only one they have, then use that first week one during the youth hunt. If you do have, if your son or daughter or whatever, the youth has like a D season, a fourth season, or fifth or sixth or whatever, you can use that tag as well. You just have to use one of the unfilled ones. Obviously, you can only get one, like I just mentioned. If the mentor can't be hunting, obviously, but again, we run into that kind of stuff. And then everyone just has to have their licenses. So make sure everyone just buys their licenses, has the appropriate harvest authorizations and stuff like that. One of the biggest things we see with youth hunting is, one, the mentor fails to get the youth a license, so then they don't have a tag, and that's a really bad situation. Like, bad in the sense of, like, awkward and unfortunate for the youth if grandpa thought that, dad got a tag, or dad thought mom got a tag, or mom thought dad bought a tag. So it's really important that before someone goes hunting, that they verify, they see that youth has a license, and then in turn has a harvest authorization, because we do get calls where it's like, hey, my son shot a turkey, but we have no license. What do we do? And last thing we ever want to do is take a turkey from a kid. So I really, really, really want people to be mindful of that, to make sure that all their licenses are bought. And another thing we see a lot of overbagging, quote unquote, or the youth accidentally shooting a second turkey. They didn't make sure that the turkey was far enough from another one, or an errant BB got away and dumped a turkey that was 20 yards behind it, and it was a total accident. So again, in any of those situations, the best thing to do is to call the local warden or self-report on our tip line. If you self-report, it totally changes the way that the discretion we can use and the way we can handle these. And like I said, we don't want to take turkeys away from the youth. So if you self-report about an accident, which accidents happen every year to just about everyone, we can work with you on it. So I would really strongly encourage you to call a local warden if you have questions, or if something comes up and there's an accident or a mistake. Call and talk out with the local warden.
So this is probably going to be a stupid question, but I just want to throw this out. So let's say, my son's 8, he'll be 9 in the summer, has not gone through hunter safety or anything like that, has not done any of the youth hunting and such. Can he go youth turkey hunting? Like, how would that process go, or is it too late to kind of get going?
No, good question. I should have hit that. I apologize. So if you don't have the hunter safety, you just have to be hunting under the mentorship rules. So when you go to buy the license, it's just going to be, you're going to buy a mentored license.
Okay.
And that just basically, it reaffirms the fact that the youth has to be hunting within arm's reach of an adult, and the guardian has to have a license and be over 18 and stuff like that. So, so just make sure, so it doesn't matter. There's no age requirement anymore. Whether you have hunter safety or not, you just need to make sure you buy the appropriate license, so a regular one or a mentored one.
Okay, so yeah, if I go home today after school in Hudson, I say, hey, you want to go turkey hunting? We can buy a tag and we can go that weekend or something, right?
Yep. Yep.
How about that? Okay.
Yeah, so you don't have to have it, and I mean, we see plenty of adults that were never huge hunters, or they're trying to get into it, or this or that, and they're hunting under the mentored hunting license. The mentored hunting license doesn't mean it's got to be a youth or someone younger. Mentor just means you don't have hunter safety and you're having a mentor hunt with you. So whether you're 10 or 80, and you want to go turkey hunting, if you don't have hunter safety, you get a mentored one, and just make sure you have someone with you that's within arm's reach.
Gotcha. Good little nugget there. I learned something now. That's the purpose of this, right? So there you go.
It's always good to learn something, right?
Exactly.
Every day. I have to learn one new thing.
Yep, exactly. Jake, before I let you go, any other final stuff that you want to throw out there?
No, I think we hit it all really well. With it being the new kind of licensing year coming up, that's, I guess, the big thing right now. Is just make sure to get your licenses. There are some trapping seasons closing. There are some fishing seasons starting, like we just talked about. There are some hunting seasons starting, we just talked about. But all of those require licenses and harvest authorizations and registration and such. So please just take the time. The new regulations never usually come out, like the pamphlet itself, like the hard copy, doesn't come out till later in the spring or summer, because they have to wait for the deer CDAC stuff to get put out there. But you can find the information online. So go online, drink some coffee. If it's dinner time, drink a couple beers and read the regulations and be up to date on the rules and regs, as well as making sure you have those licenses and such.
Good stuff. Jake, appreciate it. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I never asked you. Who do you have going all the way?
Oh, my Final Four. So I've got Yukon versus Illinois versus Arizona,
Whoa.
Michigan, and then Arizona over Yukon in the final. So.
Okay. Yeah, I've been trending that Arizona way too. I like having Illinois in the top there. They're a good team.
I had to have something a little bit different.
That's the three. That's what I was saying at the beginning. You like to sprinkle in a 3 here, and that's a good one.
Exactly.
They should be a 3, right?
Yep. They're the 3.
Yeah. So cool, man. Well, good luck with it. Let's see how this first weekend goes. It's either going to make you or break you.
Exactly, buddy. All right, you enjoy the games. Have a good weekend, and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yep, bye-bye.
There you go. There's Jake Boakes, Conservation Warden for the state of Wisconsin. Hey, we got to take a quick break, and then we're going to wrap up the third quarter coming up in just a couple minutes. Just a few minutes left to the top of the hour. Surveyor wants to know what's the biggest upset we have in today's games. He's saying we're going to see it early. Troy knocks off Nebraska. I really hope that's not the case because I got Nebraska winning a few games. So that's his big upset. I got to bring mine up here. For today.
Does TCU count over Ohio State?
Probably not. I think mine is probably VCU over Illinois or North Carolina. I think that's mine for today. Yeah, that's what I got. So, and I'm not really confident in it either. So, but what's for you today? Miami play? Does Miami play today, or may they play tomorrow? You've got a few. I think honestly, I hate to admit this. I really hate to admit this. Oh no, wait! I got South Florida winning too. So, are they today or are they tomorrow though?
Today.
Okay, so I got a couple of them today.
I think A&M is my only one today, and then right off the bat tomorrow, I have Santa Clara and Akron.
I do feel like Surveyor makes a good point, and I could be completely wrong. This is just a gut. I feel like there's always a early upset game too. Maybe I don't know if that's true, but it always feels like there's that really high seed that upsets one of the higher ranked seeds early on.
I hate to say it, but I feel like a lot of the times it's the 12-5 on the first day.
Hey, maybe that's McNeese over Vanderbilt. So.
Hopefully.
You know what, though? You know what would not surprise me if this happens? North Dakota State over Michigan State.
I would laugh.
It's happened before to Michigan State. There's teams that always get nervous picking to go far in brackets. Iowa, Michigan State, Kansas, Syracuse for the longest time always screwed me over, and Purdue. Those teams, I swear, whenever I do pick them to go far, they've always screwed up my bracket. Like, I remember Iowa was a 2 or 3 seed at one time, and I think they lost, like, the first. I think they were a 3 seed, and they lost to a 14 seed in the early round. And I was like, never again. Kansas was a big one for me, and when Jim Boeheim was at Syracuse, that one always screwed me up, too. I always had them, and, yeah. A lot of Big Ten teams in there, but, yeah, can't trust them. Can't trust them. So, outside, how about this? Outside of, if you're a Badgers fan, who would you root for in this tournament to go far? If we're all Badgers fans, you can think about it for a little bit. Is there one team, and not necessarily because it would help win your bracket. Don't say, well, I'm going to pick Arizona because that's who I have winning it. If there was somebody else that you'd be like, you know what? It'd be kind of cool if they make a run. Kind of like that second team. Who would it be? I already got mine, but I'll wait till past the top of the hour to go for it. So I think I know. Is yours? No, don't say it yet. So let everybody else kind of chime in. What's like your second team that you're hitching your wagon to? So, Survey, you gonna be hanging out tomorrow, or are you copping out like C-Bomb's copping out? Let me know. All right, so I know whether to look for you or not. So, all right, shot clock's to cut me off in about 20 seconds. So, final hour coming up here. Continue to send us your brackets, your Final Four picks, your national champion picks, and how far you have the Badgers of Wisconsin going. We'll take a news update, and then we'll be back for the final hour coming up after these quick words. Speaking of getting weird, it's less than hour and a half until I embarrass myself and get into a cage to attempt to hit a major league style fastball, and I'm a little nervous now. So, no gloves. Wish I had a pair of batting gloves. Going old school, going Jason Kendall old school with this thing. Don't even think I'm going to have pine tar or anything like that. So, I'm hoping to make contact on a couple of them. We'll see. It'll be up in video form. We'll see how fast we can get that thing edited and such, but embarrassing myself for the purpose of content. And just to kind of display that maybe hitting a fastball is the hardest thing to do in sports. And to kind of like, yeah, people who do it, they're pretty amazing. If they can, hit a home run 400 some feet with a little small baseball traveling 95 miles an hour at them. So with movement attached to it too. So, yeesh. But okay, so what is the team that you are rooting for besides Wisconsin? If you had to pick one, is there one with a good story and honestly, we'll probably find that out if there's like a Cinderella as the tournament goes, because that usually happens. Yeah. Maybe we'll find out. But right now, is there one that if you had to kind of like, okay, if it's not Wisconsin, I wouldn't mind seeing this team win it?
I like Miami, Ohio, the 11 seed. I think probably just because all the talk was they shouldn't get in, and it just something about them I like. I also like Miami. Obviously, I picked them to go pretty far, but
I don't know why. I'm gonna go St. John's again. I'm just Rick Pitino's had some issues, and there's no question about it in that. But when you look at the different stops that he has gone to, and like one, I think he kind of gets over just from a pure basketball standpoint. The guy knows how to coach basketball. So I wouldn't mind. I don't know why. I'm a Rick Pitino fan. So.
Talking about games of the tournament, that Duke St. John's game, if that's what it comes down to.
Or even St. John's, Kansas. I mean, St. John's is going to have to earn it possibly if they get there. Because you're talking about a potential, if they get by Northern Iowa, I feel like has been an upset special too. So that would make me nervous. St. John's, Kansas, Duke. I would love a St. John's UConn rematch to go to the Final Four because of the rivalry between those two programs. So that would just be insane. But it might even be Michigan State over there too. Again, that region is just full of legends, coaching icons, iconic programs. I mean, it's all over. That's a fun region. That's a really fun one, I think. So, but how about the rest of you? Also, what's the highest seed, lowest seed that you have going in this tournament? We've got a 6 in the Final Four, Tennessee and BYU. Does anybody have something, like anybody have a 7 seed going to the Final Four, or an 8, or a 9, or a 10? Someone willing to go out there and make that pick on their bracket. Let us know. All right, legit, too, not just like, oh, yeah, my bracket, I picked all upsets and such. Like a legit one. I know some people do that. I'd be curious to hear from others. Do they have, for those who don't do the bracket of integrities, I know some people will do one bracket where it's all chalk. They'll just do all the top seeds, all the favorites win, and try to accumulate points that way. I have heard of people doing brackets that are all upsets. One person I know, a friend of mine, used to do that, and it didn't work well for him because you're talking about like 16 seeds and such in there too. So, but yeah, I'd be curious to know if anybody's got kind of an upset sort of thing on there. So, hit us up if you want. Let us know. All right, shoot us a text 715-830-1912. This just popped up. If you're going to Brewers opening day a week from today, Jordan Love's throwing out the first pitch. So Brewers just posted that Jordan Love throwing out the first pitch. Dude is already in Wisconsin. He was with yesterday with the Green Bay Phoenix women's basketball team, helping send them off to their tournament run because they play Minnesota tomorrow. So, but Jordan Love, a man of the people, man. He's hanging out with UW Green Bay women's basketball. He's throwing out first pitches for the Brewers. Man of the people, Jordan Love. Gotta love it. So, but what else do we got here? Oh, yeah, never mind. But what's this? John says, I know that Iowa State is a 2 seed, but I think they could be sneaky good. So, how far do you have Iowa State?
Out of 4.
Do you have them? I think I got them out.
I have them losing to Arizona.
I don't have them that far. I got to bring it back up here. I saved it, but mine is, that's Hudson's. I've got them losing to Michigan. So a 1-2 match.
That'll be a good game too.
Yeah. I think that's Michigan's region. I think it sets up well for Michigan.
I feel like that's the easiest region. I
100% agree. I hate using that word easy when it's sports, but the clearest path maybe for a 1. I think it's set up for Michigan. Whereas Duke to me is like the hardest one because of all those teams there.
I feel like Arizona could be hard too though, just because we don't know what Wisconsin's going to do. We don't know how good Arkansas is. We don't know how good BYU is. I mean, there's so many questions on what is this, the West side?
Yeah, I don't know whether to believe Purdue.
Yeah.
The way they finished the regular season, but then went on that run in the Big Ten Conference. You know, if the Zags are losing their best player, and that's a 3 seed, what version of BYU are we going to get? This is like the bracket of unknowns.
Yeah.
Or a lot of question marks. Like you could see, I think, a lot of different scenarios play out. And if everybody plays to their highest level, then that's, I think, a very competitive bracket.
Mm-hmm.
But it's maybe the bracket of inconsistency or something like that. But
yeah.
And then, you know, you look at the Florida side of things. Florida, Houston are so intriguing. I was surprised Illinois got a 3. I was a little surprised they got as high as a 3, especially the early out in the Big Ten Conference tournament. I was a little surprised Nebraska was a 4. I thought maybe they'd be flip-flop, but
yeah.
But, you know, Houston, I think, is you got Florida as the defending champs, which I think is not getting talked about a lot. You don't really hear about Florida, I don't feel like, talked a lot this year. Here they are, though, champs, and they're back as a 1 seed. But Houston, I think everybody's just waiting for Houston to finally crack it and maybe get that championship with Kelvin Sampson. But they went through that stretch of a tough schedule and were losing against top teams, too. But if we get a Florida-Houston matchup, that's going to be fun.
Yeah. The only reason I feel like Houston's going to win, a little bit of revenge, but it's also in Houston.
Yeah.
So practically a home game for them.
Yep. Good point. So, no, there's definitely going to be some good matchups, I think, that are going to be as we get a little bit later on. Heck, even in the round of 32, those 4-5 matchups, those are some really good potential matchups in the 4-5s. Again, St. John's and Kansas as a 4-5. Arkansas, Wisconsin as a 4-5. I mean, there's the 6-3s are going to be some good matchups in this thing too. So, yeah, I like it. One of my favorite times of the year. Top 5 for sure. Top 5. But it would be better if I was in college, I will say that. Skipping class. I never skip class. Although I think sometimes it tended to work right around spring break when we did the brackets and that. So, but, yeah. All right. Continue to send us your picks if you'd like. Hit us up, text it, or comment on the video stream. So, Brent has Arizona, Duke, Vandy, and Iowa State. Iowa State winning it all. So, all right. Got a couple of Iowa State love Cyclones out there. We'll see. I don't know. It's a crapshoot at this point. I'm done overthinking it. Let's just let it play out. Let's get to the games and let this play out. So, all right, let's take a quick break. Plenty more to get to, though. If you want to continue to send us your picks, you can do so. All right, we'll talk some more baseball coming up here. Opening day 1 week away. We'll hit that up. We'll get back to a little bit more football talk. Don't forget to send us your Takeover Thursday topics. If you have a topic that you would like to chat about or like for us to chat about, this is your time to send it on over. Act as the producer. So, quick break, and we'll be back after these Looking for affordable, reliable auto parts? We'll start with the experts who know vehicles inside and out. At ASAP Used Auto Parts and Conrad's Auto Salvage, you'll find quality recycled parts that keep your vehicle running without breaking the bank. Engines, transmissions, hard-to-find components. If you need it, chances are that they've got it. Their knowledgeable team helps you find the right part fast, saving you time and money. Whether you are a do-it-yourselfer, a repair shop, or you're just trying to extend the life of your ride, trust the local pros. ASAP Used Auto Parts and Conrad's Auto Salvage. From salvage to service, one name that you can trust. So, MLB.com, as we are just 1 week away from opening day for the Brew Group. They have done their annual drafting, the 2026 World Series favorites from 1 to 30. No surprise on who number 1 is. The Brewers. No, I'm just kidding. It's the Dodgers at number 1. Ooh. Number 2, Seattle. They drafted the Mariners at number 2. 3, the Cubs. As one of their writers notes, I'm not blind to the fact that the Brewers are the 3-time NL Central champions and that the Cubs haven't actually won their division in a full season since way back in 2017. And yet I picked Chicago here, not Milwaukee. It wouldn't be a season preview if someone wasn't out here failing to fully respect Milwaukee, right? Why should this year be any different? Part of this is that winning the division isn't a requirement for winning the World Series. So even if the Cubs finish second again, they could still get the ring. I won't read the rest, but et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mets coming in at 4. Yankees 5, Phillies 6, Blue Jays 7, Tigers 8, Red Sox 9, Baltimore 10, Royals 11, Braves 12. Finally, the Brewers come in at number 13. As they said, an absolute steal at 13. The Brewers are clearly a better choice than Atlanta. They're better than the Royals, too. But I went with Kansas City for reasons noted above. They're the 3-time defending NL Central champs, and even though they went and traded away their best pitcher and made a confusing trade no one quite understood, the whole Caleb Durbin deal, none of that is out of step with what they do every winter, and it always seems to work. It's going to work this year, too. They're going to be really good. And yet, 13th, well behind the Cubs. Here's why. This is a draft of potential World Series champs. Milwaukee has made the playoffs 7 times in the last 8 years because they're always very good and competitive. Yet, there's been no World Series appearance in that time, and they haven't even won an NLCS game since 2018. It's not that what they do doesn't work, because it surely does. It's that after all this time, we need to see some evidence that what they can actually get, what they do can actually get you all the way to the top. And I think that's probably what Brewers fans are at this point, right? Like, we don't want to sound spoiled or not appreciative of making all these appearances in the postseason, because, especially in my lifetime, we were so ecstatic to find my first playoff experience was 2008, and we were so ecstatic to make 2008. We were just happy to be there, and because I've never experienced it before. And then, after that, it took a couple more years, and finally 2011, they pushed it all in. Prince Fielder was going to be gone, so they kind of went for it, and they made the NLCS, and it was an awesome feeling. And then it took a couple more years again for them to get back, and now they've just been on this run. And I think while we're happy to see it, it's like the goal or the expectation now over the last couple of years or last few years, the Brewers has changed. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Great now that I would consider it a perennial playoff contender over this nearly decade. But now it's like, okay, what's next? It's kind of like Badger football for the longest time too. It's like Badger football was, all right, Rose Bowl, we're getting, but can we maybe compete for something a little bit higher? Now we'd just be ecstatic to get back to a Rose Bowl. So maybe we should be careful what we wish for. But I think that's where a lot of Brewers fans are at this point. It's like, great, love it, awesome, but can we get to a World Series now? Can we have a little bit more? I don't think it's greedy or anything. I think that's the next step. We want to see them take that next step.
I think the hardest part of it is this is one of the worst years to try to take that next step because of how good the Dodgers are. And the Cubs spent some money. They got Bregman, so they're going to be better than last year. But I don't know. I don't know how to predict this team anymore. Like you said, I mean, it wouldn't be an off season without somebody saying the Cubs are going to win the division.
Mm-hmm.
So it sets up for another fun year.
I think, and this is just my opinion, but I go back to the one line where they said, and I think this hits the mark here. It's not that what they do doesn't work, because it surely does. It's that after all this time, we need to see some evidence that what they do can actually get you all the way to the top. And I think that hits the point that I've kind of wondered over the last few years, is what they do, does that work in the regular season, but it doesn't work in the postseason? You win a ton of games in the regular season, and everybody kind of looks at the Dodgers and all that. And yes, they had a better record than the Dodgers last year, best record. But what I think is different is the Dodgers spend money not to win games just in the regular season. You spend money to win in the postseason. You bring in those guys in the postseason. And obviously you got to win games in the regular season to get to the postseason and such. But the difference, I think, in the Brewers' approach, and I hope it gets proven wrong this season, is that approach right now, it's kind of similar to the Rays. At least the Rays made a World Series and they lost it, but you can win a bunch of games, you can get to the postseason. But then you're counting on a lot of younger, maybe inexperienced guys in that postseason. What was kind of the narrative after the Packers season? Do they need more veterans? Do they need some of those guys when they get to the postseason, or do they need those veterans to close out games? Is that kind of the sense here for the Brewers now? Is maybe they need, does this style work when it comes to the postseason? And you could point to different years like, 18, they acquired Mike Moustakas and they had some veterans and such. Yeah, you're right, they did. But they didn't have a lot of pitching that year either. Brandon Woodruff was just young and getting up and, that sort of thing. But I think that to me is the line there, is it works. Their process works. It works in the regular season. The question still remains, does it work in the postseason at this point?
Yeah, I'd love to know kind of what statistic takes you to the World Series. And I think I did see one last year where a lot of power is what takes you to the World Series, and the Brewers don't do that well.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe Jackson Chourio hits 30 home runs this year. Maybe he finds it. Maybe Garrett Mitchell gets a full year healthy and he finds it. But again, they didn't really add anything to our offense.
Mm-hmm.
They added a ton to our pitching staff, but now they're all young. So like you said, is it veteran experience? Can a young team get there? And I don't think anybody except the Dodgers will get there this year. But it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think honestly, not to tippity picks or anything like that, I still think the Brewers are a playoff team this year. I think,
Absolutely.
and I know it's a big if, but you can make the case for that for all these teams. But if the Brewers hit on all their potential, like they have, I think you look at a lot of those players and there's a ton of potential, and if they hit that, they could be a really good team again this year. Especially when it comes to some of their younger pitchers, Mizorowski, Chad Patrick, all those guys. If they continue to get better, Bryce Terang, for crying out loud, he's to the point now. I'm like, what else is he going to do this year? Because he has gotten so much better every year offensively, and then he's coming off that World Baseball Classic. It's like, was it 2 weeks ago we were saying, is he going to be 25, 30, 30? I don't think it's completely out of the question anymore now when you kind of watch what he can do. So, if Chourio can stay healthy, I think, his numbers, and maybe that's what we need to look at for last year, because some people are going to be like, well, Chourio's numbers weren't as good as what they should have been. But he was banged up with that hamstring, so then you look at the numbers, and they were kind of the same as his first year. Maybe you'd be like, dang, he was hurt, and he still put up those type of numbers. So maybe you look at it from the positive side there. But there's a ton of talent on this team. They're not well-known talents by any means for a lot of people. Christian Yelich is probably still the most popular player from just a general fan base. Bryce Terang, I would imagine, is going to get up there now. Cheerio's up there. Contreras, I think, from a catching standpoint, has some recognition in that. But based off potential, I think there's a ton of it. And if this team can stay healthy and hit that potential, sky's the limit, I think.
Just got to get hot at the right time, right?
Momentum's huge.
Yeah.
Look at the Dodgers last year. The joke was, But it was kind of true. They got all their pitchers back right before, they're just like, hey, let's rest all of our pitchers like halfway through the regular season. And then they all of a sudden start to come back right before the postseason. Yep. So it was like making free agent acquisitions right before postseason.
I will say, though, we can't have what happened last year happen again, where we have 2 automatic outs at the end of our lineup.
Yeah.
Joey Ortiz is going to have to hit, and we have to have Garrett Mitchell. Or not even, we need a center fielder. Mm-hmm. That's not Blake Perkins or Brandon Lockridge. You're going to need some production from the bottom of your lineup, and you got none of it last year. And then Contreras kind of went cold in the playoffs. So you're going to need your star players to shine, and then you're going to need your bottom of the lineup to produce. And they did that in the regular season, but then they did in the postseason.
It's going to be interesting for me. You mentioned center fielder. Who played center fielder for the champs for Venezuela?
Jackson Chourio.
It was Jackson Chourio. And he has gotten better every year defensively. His rookie year, and he was an infielder by trade and such. But then last year kind of getting forced into center fielder a little bit because of the Garrett Mitchell role. And he's gotten better, but like that first year, his rookie year, you could tell he was playing deeper than normal just because, trying to play the ball better. But he's gotten a lot better and more comfortable out there. If that's a thing where Garrett Mitchell just can't stay healthy or whatever, maybe Jackson is the everyday starting center fielder. Then they can look at, okay, let's find a different left fielder then. Maybe that's a little bit easier to go find that power left fielder. Yelich plays more a little bit out there. Frelick to me is the better right fielder center fielder combo because he has the arm and the speed and that's in right field you want the guy that can kind of guy out at third, and Frelick can do that and cover a lot of ground too. So that I'm going to be curious to see how much Chourio actually plays center field this year, if that's something that they're progressing towards as his full-time spot out there.
Yeah, I'd love it if Yelich didn't have to play a lot.
Me too.
Because I'd love him to stay healthy all year. And even with Chourio, if we can keep him out of center, I think that's best case. But if he has to, it doesn't scare me at all. I just think if you're starting, like last year, Blake Perkins or Lockridge in the playoffs, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe one of them plays a lot better this year. But I think you're going to need either a healthy Garrett Mitchell or you're going to need to find somebody.
Because remember, too, there's no Isaac Collins filling in left field this year either.
Yeah, and he was really good last year.
And I don't think they want him to, but I know Jet Williams has experience in outfield if that is a possibility. What's some of their top? Yeah, Jet Williams, maybe. Let me look at some of their outfielder prospects. Yeah, let me load this up a little bit.
They signed Akil Baddoo, so technically he's on the roster.
That's the thing. Like, you look at some of their prospects, they don't have an full-time outfielder that is very highly ranked right now that is maybe ready to come up.
Yeah.
Josh is high A. Braylon Payne is single A. Just scrolling down their list a little bit more. Tyler Black's been getting stuff at outfield too, but yeah, you look at that. It's it's Chourio. So they still have Chourio's listed as a starting left fielder. Okay, a lot of going back to the Garrett Mitchell. Who's the biggest question mark heading into it? Is it Mitchell or Joey Ortiz?
I think it's Ortiz, just because the lack of proven depth behind him. Perkins can back up Mitchell for a little bit. I don't know about what we've got at short.
I think I might go Mitchell just because if it comes down to it, would I rather see, if you take Mitchell away and you take Ortiz away, would I rather see in an everyday starting a replacement, Blake Perkins or Jet Williams? I'd probably want Jet Williams.
Jet Williams, yeah.
So that's maybe where I go. Biggest question mark is Garrett Mitchell, because if he can't stay healthy or he can't provide the pop, there really isn't anything behind. We've seen what Blake Perkins can do. Yes, Brandon Lockridge is having a really good spring training in terms of pop, but is that another Vinny Capra situation like last year? Whereas at least Jet Williams, we're intrigued with it, and he has had a good spring and prospect and all that sort of stuff. But yeah.
And like you said, there isn't the outfield depth
right
that we have on the infield.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's also where Joey Ortiz gets hurt, and all of a sudden Jet Williams is up, and you still have Cooper Pratt and Andrew Fisher and all these guys.
Yep.
And in the outfield, I mean, they have Tyler Black listed on here as an outfielder.
Yeah. I mean, Jake Bowers, I don't want playing left field.
No.
I don't want that every day. It's just no. And like you said, I think it helps Yelich primarily being the DH with his health.
Yep.
So, all right, let's take a quick break and plenty more to get to, though. We'll be right back after these few words. All right, intern. So how are you going to spend the day? You're going to be able to watch, sit in front of the TV, watch games all day, multiple TVs, tablets, whatever. You got a game plan for today?
Pretty much. I worked ahead in school all week to get off for today.
All right.
Tomorrow, so this is my afternoon. It's my favorite sporting event. So
is it number one on your?
It is.
Okay.
It's number one. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make a huge bracket on my wall, so that'll be fun.
Nice. All right. So number one, I was looking actually at so I was hoping Final Four would be back in Minnesota again sometime soon, but it doesn't look like it. Not at least until I think they got it planned out till 2031. It's in Detroit next year. So probably with it being in Indianapolis this year, Detroit next year might be not with Midwest here in a little bit here, but there are next year, 2027, some opening round ones in Minnesota. So. So the Final Four locations next year is going to be Detroit at Ford Field because you got to have them at football stadiums now. Detroit, Las Vegas, and then back to Indy in 2029. North Texas AT&T Stadium in 2030. Atlanta in 2031. So, but next year, if anybody wants to go to any games, I think is it next year 2020? Yeah, Minneapolis at the Target Center. They're going to have first and second round games over there. So full day of basketball. It is awesome going. Have you ever been to?
Never.
It is definitely awesome. So it's really entertaining. Especially, I kind of liked it not having a team to root for, and just watching all the crazy student sections and fan bases and such, and just it was really cool. So highly recommend. But yeah, it's definitely top 5 for me. We were kind of having the debate earlier on in the week. Like your top 5 sports events, tournaments, not regular season stuff. Like I think I'd put World Baseball Classic now in top 5 for me.
Yeah.
March Madness. We've been spoiled if you think about it with the Winter Olympics and the hockey and how it ended. World Baseball Classic. Now we got March Madness. It's been a good time to be a sports fan.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, I think March Madness is up there. I'm removing the draft because I'm looking mostly at like competitive sports. I love the draft, but I'm looking like game-wise. I love the Masters, so I'm throwing that in there. I'm already, getting the golf itch and such for that. A lot of this stuff, too, is at the beginning of a new season, so it's like gets you a little bit more antsy and such. I know, right?
And then they dump 2 feet of snow on us.
Well, it happens like every state tournament weekend, whether it's girls or boys or whatever it may be. So, but... Speaking of which, just another reminder that state boys basketball does begin later on today. Division III and Division IV are going to be in action today, and that means we're going to have St. Croix Central. They're going to be in action. They're going to be in Game 1 today, taking on Seymour. That's going to be at 1:35, and then Division IV is going to be in action later tonight, where you're going to see Eau Claire Regis take on Milwaukee Juneau. That's going to be after the 6:35 game, so they get the nightcap tonight. So, and then Division 5, Division 2, and Division 1 will all be in action starting tomorrow. So, but that's, I remember back in the good old days, this would be like the weekend. I know a lot of non-basketball people that I knew family-wise hated, because on one station it's boys high school basketball, on CBS it's college there's like basketball. They're like their shows are not on, so they it's all basketball, and I'm just like,
this is my show.
Yeah, but they'd be like, oh, none of my shows are on because basketball's on every station right now, whether it's high school or college and that. But I love it. So now you got options all across the board with streaming and that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, it's definitely top 5 for me for sure. And I loved Final Four was going there. It was awesome. It was awesome.
I think also just partly because like the top teams don't always win.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that adds to it because I love the NFL obviously, but the top teams usually win that, so there's no really intrigue. The NBA is a mess. But I was thinking about the other day, I'm like, the NBA could do so much better if it were one game in the playoffs.
Do or die?
Yeah, because in these 7-game series, you're going to get probably an upset 1 or 2 games, but the 8 seed really has no chance in a 7-game series.
What about making bracket for NBA?
That would be fun.
So copy this. Oklahoma City would be the 1 seed in the West, and Detroit right now would be the 1 seed, and then, Bucks would be make it a tournament.
I think do or die is the best thing for any sport. I like the series in baseball because baseball is just that way.
And you had so many starting pitcher. I mean, the lineups change, right? So,
but you don't get this March Madness in the NBA because, again, Oklahoma City could lose game 1 and then win the next 4. And I think that's why the NBA struggles, because nobody wants to watch game 1, 2, 3, or 4. Everybody's dialed into every game here.
Well, like it used to be when I was younger and I loved the NBA, the first round was just best of 5. So that was a little bit better.
Yeah.
It it meant more right away. Games now it's 7-game series. These just drag.
Yeah.
They drag. Hell, I wouldn't even mind if they'd shortened it to 3. Best of 3. First one to 2 wins or something.
And 3 would be fine in case of a bad shooting night.
Yeah.
But this is I love this. You lose, you're done. So don't lose.
The thing that I don't think they would like, I like that the idea of a March Madness, but the thing that they probably wouldn't like is, as you mentioned, Oklahoma City could lose. Yeah, they could lose to the 18-win Kings. And then everybody's like, well, do we want that? Because you're going to hear this again this tournament. If there's a bunch of upsets, you're going to have some people say, well, this is dumb because the best teams, we want to see the best teams play and such. I don't know. I like Cinderellas once in a while. I like it. So I wonder if there's a way you could change it to where then it would change how they do the draft and lottery so it prevents tanking.
Yeah.
Is there a relation to that?
Yeah. Also, this expanding the tournament is crazy to me because if you're not good enough to get in a tournament with 64 teams, you don't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
So there's no snubs in this.
No.
I know we do the first 4 out. Those teams aren't snubbed. They're not good enough to make it.
And the thing is, even if you expand it, what's going to happen? Well, then they still missed out on getting that. Say they expand to 72. You're still going to have the same argument that so-and-so should have been
The 73rd team's going to want to get in.
Yeah. And then what are you going to do? Expand to 80? Okay. Then the 81st team is going to complain they didn't get in. So it's an argument that'll never end. Don't expand it anymore.
No.
It's fine where it's at. Even what helped them is that some of the play-in teams went on some mini runs and won a couple games to kind of like, okay, we're going to keep that around because obviously teams, it wasn't just shoe-in ones, which I kind of like it that they're the 11 seeds. The 16 ones are just, okay, whatever.
It's whatever. Good for the universities.
Yeah, yep. I kind of like the 11 ones because those have the potential of maybe winning a couple games, like a Texas. Would it surprise anybody if Texas beat BYU? Probably not. Miami of Ohio? Yeah, probably not. So,
yeah.
All right, we got to take our final break, and then we're going to wrap it up with some picks. Lots of college games to pick here, so we'll be right back in just a couple minutes. All right, let's make some picks. Let's start with college basketball. All right, lots of games to get to here. So we'll go in order of when they tip off, including Wisconsin. Usually we kind of keep those towards the last, but just to make it simple, we'll go in order here. So TCU versus the Ohio State.
TCU.
I'm going to go Ohio State. Troy versus Nebraska.
Nebraska.
South Florida versus Louisville. I went South Florida. High Point, Wisconsin. Scotty. Siena versus Duke. Siena. Duke. I'm going to go Duke. McNeese versus Vanderbilt. Vandy. North Dakota State, Michigan State. Arkansas and Hawaii.
Arkansas.
I'm going to go Arkansas. VCU versus North Carolina. Okay, going VCU. Howard versus Michigan. Texas, BYU. Texas A&M and St. Mary's.
I
went St. Mary's. Penn versus Illinois. St. Louis versus Georgia. I went St. Louis too. Kennesaw State versus the Zags, Gonzaga. I'm going to go Zags. And then Idaho versus Houston. So let's do a couple of NBA games because we have the Bucks in action tonight as well. So Orlando versus Charlotte. They're playing really good right now. Yeah. Detroit, Washington. Lakers, Miami. Cleveland and the Bulls. Clippers and New Orleans. I'll go Clippers too. Phoenix, San Antonio.
Spurs.
I'll go Spurs. We'll go Bucks and the Jazz. I'll go Bucks. Why not? Philadelphia and Sacramento.
The Sixers.
Yeah, I'm going to go Sixers too. So, all right. Those are your picks. So, did you have any upsets today?
No.
Not today? Going all chalk. All right.
Besides, obviously, TCU, Ohio State, but that's not an upset.
Right. So, all right. There's probably going to be one, though.
There's
going to be one. Don't know where. But
I just don't know where to pick it. It's a problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a crapshoot.
I hope it's Hawaii over Arkansas.
That'd be funny. As long as Wisconsin wins, too. If Wisconsin wins, then please Hawaii. Give
me the
Arkansas.
Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah, let's make that happen. So, and then don't want to overlook it or just assume anything then at that point. But so, gosh, I hope Wisconsin wins. I don't want to tomorrow morning talk about another early exit for the Badger basketball team.
Especially, there's no reason anybody should hate Greg Gard. He's conformed to the state of college basketball. He's brought in transfers that constantly are good. I don't see the reason to hate him. But if they lose tomorrow, there's going to be those people that are like, he should get fired.
Mm-hmm. You know it. It's going to happen. So, getting excited, starting to kick in a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think it's kicked into me yet. I think once I have that TV on and then I see some basketball and some squeaking shoes, then it'll kind of hit.
The minute I turn my radio on and it's just Westwood One, just going through all their games, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, all right. Reminder, everybody, we'll be hanging out at the VFW Post tomorrow morning, doing the program there and watching some hoops. So if you want to stop on by and hang out, we'll be over there. Show from 6 to 10. And then the beverages, free beverages and stuff, that'll begin at 11 to 3 or until we fill up the bar tab. So that'll be coming your way, 1300 Star Avenue, VFW Post 305. Also, tomorrow we'll do some local sports roundup with Brandon, brought to you by Carpet City Flooring Center. We've got the AJM Automotive Pump the Brakes Full Throttle. We'll do that. Not sure if we'll do a little inside the training room because Dr. Crow, he's going to be in Madison, I'm assuming, tonight because his son's on the Eau Claire Regis basketball team. So it might be a late night for the Crow family. So we'll see if that does potentially work out for tomorrow or not. So cream of the crop also coming your way. All right. I'm just a few minutes away from trying to hit a Major League fastball. I'm going to get a few opportunities.
Just guess.
Close my eyes and swing.
Yeah.
And just hope.
The nice thing is the pitching machine's likely going to throw at the same place twice. So if you can figure...
The way you phrase that, likely, Not for sure, but likely.
So if you can figure out where the first pitch came, then just swing there the second time.
I'm going to work my way up. Start slow, get my timing down, and hopefully make contact with one. And then, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll suit up for the Expresses.
There you go.
I got some eligibility left when there's low on people in the first part of the season or later in. So, hey, it's possible.
What position in the field?
Yeah. Nowhere. I don't have the legs anymore. I'm too old for that stuff. So, too old to play beer league softball anymore too. So I'm not into that anymore. So I hope it's wood bat. I want to try a wood bat and really feel it in the gloveless hands and such. But we'll see what Dale's got lined up for me. So that'll be up on YouTube a little bit later on after we do the video editing and such. So make sure you're following the YouTube YouTube page over there for those videos and such. So, all right, we only got a minute left. You want to make one bold prediction? This is your last chance. One more bold prediction. Anything from the last few hours of talking about this? You want to change anything? You're going to roll with it?
I'll make a prediction. Purdue doesn't make it out of the first weekend.
Ooh, all right. There's got to be at least 1-2 seed that probably does, even though I didn't pick it.
It's got to be either Purdue or UConn, in my opinion. I don't see Houston or Iowa State losing in the first weekend. I don't really see UConn losing. So.
Yeah. I think Purdue wins their first one, but then
yeah.
I could see Miami giving them fits for sure. So, all right. There you have it. Shot clock's going to cut us off here in just a little bit. Enjoy the games, everybody. Again, tomorrow morning, we'll be over at VFW Post 305 doing the program. So hopefully we're talking about a Badger win and maybe talking about some other upsets and such. So, again, enjoy the day. Be safe if you're out having a lot of fun with these games. And we'll catch up on all the results coming your way tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Talk with you then.